jug of vegetable oil underneath of the sink.
Underneath of the sink?
Yep.
Get that.
Hello everybody, just getting set up tonight.
I'm going to use canola. I guess you only got canola, right?
Got canola.
Okay. That'll work. It's the same thing. But
It's a good oil. It's a good high temperature oil.
yep, we got our canola oil and
Getting our lighting set up and everything tonight.
you think these mushrooms are already rinsed, Rosie? Probably
I
they
would,
are.
yeah, probably if you rinse them, they degrade.
Yeah. So we got mushrooms.
Good evening, everybody. I'm just still getting set up here. Get some lighting set up. Get a little more light set up here tonight. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday night. There we go. Hello everybody. Pop the Yule log on. And I gotta put a few more light bulbs in. got this light bulb if you can change it out. Got the Yule log on. Woo! Good evening, everybody. Hello, Johnny West. Spirits, nice to see you, Joe Smith.
Yeah, all right. Okay, cool. Let me get him closer. I'm gonna start preparing the ingredients here. Can I hit the stove out, Rosie?
Yeah. I need you to change that light.
To start preparing our meal, and we're going to cut up this chuck roast here. You can take these out of here. And of course we're going to use the T-fowl pan again. We're making beef stroganoff. Chef John Food Wishes recipe. And that cold battery, so I'm going to jack it off. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to start cutting up the beef. Using 2 pounds of chuck roast.
Yeah, start by changing the light bulb.
What's
Okay?
that?
The light.
Oh, this way? Garbage, Rosa?
I'm a happy boy when things are going my way, hey hey.
Thank you. Thank you, John Brentford. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. Woo. Happy when things are going my way. Fix that window up a little bit on Streamlabs.
Okay, that light is on.
See if I can do that.
This light is on here.
We can make the dirt box bigger.
So let's get to cooking right now. I'm going to chop up the star of the show.
Thank you, John.
Star of the show.
Hey, Leanne.
The star of the show is the 2 pounds of chuck roast.
I'm just getting the
We're
chat
going to chop
set
it up
up
in about
here.
1-inch pieces.
Let me
This
just-
is Angus beef. And we're using chuck roast. That's what the recipe calls for. So
What's up, Alan Gold? How you doing? Christmas,
chuck roast. Beautiful chuck roast here.
Christmas in North Korea.
what we're using here. This was a really nice piece of
Lavender,
chuck
you're
roast.
too cute.
We're going to cut that up in 1-inch pieces. Okay, guys? This is the star of the show. So, there's the chuck roast here. And we'll go ahead and start cutting this up in about 1-inch pieces.
You gotta let me know 10 minutes before you're ready to serve. And then
Okay, I got you. We're away from there.
I know we are, but just remember, don't yell at me later and say you
Okay.
should have been prepared for that.
So I'm going to try to cut this in the middle here. We want to get it as thin as we can. Because the thinner it is, the easier it is going to be to cook the chuck roast. Try to cut it in the center here. Beautiful piece of chuck roast. And all we're going to do is just cut this up in 1-inch slices and season it. So actually 1/2-inch slices is what we want. Just little cubes like that. That's what you want, something like that. About 1/2-inch cubes is fine. Make sure it ain't too thick. Beautiful chuck roast. You want to use the fat here too because it's going to give the beef a lot of flavor. So you got a thick piece of meat, kind of cut it up a little bit thinner so that your cooking time will only be an hour. I'm going to cut it into about 1/2-inch cubes. Just like Chef John. All that fat is going to melt in there. It's going to give you a wonderful, wonderful beef stroganoff. Okay? Don't cut off the fat. That's where all the flavor's at in the beef. So just cut it up into about, like I said, 1/2-inch cubes and you'll be fine. And like I said, I wouldn't throw away the fat because you got a lot of good flavor in that fat. A lot of good flavor in that fat, folks. And while we're cutting up this meat, I need to get this pan hot here. We're going to season this with salt and pepper. See if the camera's okay. Okay. And we just want to cut it in about 1/2-inch cubes, like I said. And that'll be a nice stroganoff cut. About 1/2-inch cubes is what you want. And if you don't want to cue it up here, I guess you can get your butcher to do it. Okay, so now the meat's cubed up. What I'm going to do is get this pan hot over here. I never figured out how to turn this on. I wish Rosie would come back and she could turn this on because I never figured out how this thing turns on. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to season with a little bit of salt. Season your meat liberally. Okay. A little bit of black pepper. I wish you would come back here so I can get the fire going here. I never figure out how to turn this thing on. Give it a nice liberal seasoning of black pepper. Let's see where she's at. She's coming back. I always... Hey Rosie, how do you turn this thing on? I never figured out how to turn it on.
You just have to click it and
You might want to bring this a little bit here so we don't want our food falling off here. How do you turn it on? If you can turn it off from this. Is it all the way on high?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Hopefully this. So I'll give it a good seasoning of black pepper. And what we're going to do now, we're going to heat our pan here. And you want to put a little bit of vegetable oil in your pan or canola oil. You can do olive oil if you want. Not too much. Just enough to coat the bottom of the pan like that. Okay.
Got some big Yule logs
So we
on
can get some
tonight.
browning on the meats. I'm going to have to let this heat up really good.
Go grab my
By that
beer.
time, I'm going to go ahead and
I'm going to grab my beer and enjoy the show.
I'm going to go ahead and mix this meat up here just with my hands.
Need anything else? I'll bring the water up to temperature. Then 10 minutes before you want them.
Yeah, this is going to take it. This is
I
gonna
know.
take
I'm just
an hour.
telling you.
After this cooks, it has to cook in the sauce for an hour.
That's
Otherwise,
fine.
it won't be tender.
That's fine.
So it
Marshall.
has to.
That's
We were
fine.
ways from there. So this is pretty much seasoned here pretty good. I'll go ahead and just transfer that to here for now. I'm going to let that pan heat up really good.
Man, we got
I'm
a
going to
big.
go ahead and rinse these off here because I've had raw meat on.
Look at that, guys. I got a jumbo Yule log on tonight. Live on the Rancho. Flip that around.
I want to get that oil to be really hot here so we can get some browning on the meat here. I think it's getting there.
Okay, we got
Hotter the
plenty of-
better.
We got plenty of light out of here now.
We got some beautiful chuck roast here, Angus chuck roast. This is what it looks like. This is the star of the dish. You want to get that oil really hot. Beautiful,
Hey, Kim.
beautiful,
Hey, everybody. Good
beautiful
evening.
marbling. 2 pounds of chuck roast. $7.99 a pound in California.
I think that thing's popping like nuts.
Don't worry about it. It's supposed to get hot. It's fine. Once I put this in, it'll settle down. But there was water in there, what it was. It'll settle down once I put this meat down in there. Now brown that meat really good. Get my spatula.
Tonight in Kitchen Stadium, the chef will attempt beef stroganoff. Please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me get it more to the pan here so you guys
Are you
can
on
see what's going on.
Are you on 2.5?
I'm not even on that.
Oh, okay.
I'm on my cell phone soon.
All right.
Because it's not reliable. So,
My 5 is booming out here.
yep. So you just want to get a real good browning on the meat. This is going to bring the temperature down of the pan. It's going to take a while to break this down. You got to get it brown and you got to get some browning. And then once you get to that level, which with this fire it takes forever, but that's fine. We will transfer the meat out of the pan. So we'll let that sit there and cook. And cook down. Again, with this very weak fire here, it's going to take a while, but we want to get the meat brown and get it golden and get some fond going on, caramelization if we can, which with this is going to be take a while to get all that liquid out of the meat and get it nice and brown, and then we'll take it out and start making our gravy. And what this consists of, this is the Chef John Chef John's beef stroganoff recipe. And what it consists of is, once we get this meat out, we're going to put some butter in the pan and saute some mushrooms. We'll have some mushrooms and onions that will be sauteed in the pan, a little bit of salt and butter. We'll get those nice and brown. And then we'll go ahead and deglaze the pan with a little bit of white wine, a little bit of beef broth. And we'll let that, and also we got to put flour in there too. So we've got to put the after this cooks up, we'll put the mushrooms in and the onions and get them golden brown a little bit. And then we'll put some flour, some garlic in there, get that brown, and put some flour in there, brown that up. That'll make our roux. And then basically then we'll deglaze with a little bit of white wine, not too much, and a little bit of beef broth. And that'll create like our gravy. At that point, we'll go ahead and transfer this cooked beef back into the pot. And we'll cook it for about an hour on medium-low heat in the sauce. And then we'll garnish with sour cream and chives, and it'll be on top of egg noodles, wide egg noodles. That's what we're going to do. So this is going to take a while here to cook down here because, again, this isn't the best heat source here. But there's going to be a lot of flavor in this pan. All those beef juices and the beef juices and all that. So it'll take a while to get this nice and brown and incorporated here. All that nice fat in there is going to give that broth a really good flavor. So it's going to take a while to get this meat to brown up here for us. But it'll brown up and it'll get brown, and it'll create some sort of a fond down here, and then that'll be the basis of our gravy here. Very easy recipe, Chef John's beef stroganoff. So that's cooking. I've got to just sit and wait there for that to cook. I'm going to go ahead and, in the meantime, go ahead and chop up my onion and chop up my chive that's going to be for the dish while this cooks, because there's nothing else to do but sit and wait for this to cook now. And we'll do that. Okay, guys. All I got to do is chop up the onion and chive, and I'm done.
I had to get my fish gloves.
Yeah, I wish I could get my Coleman back up and running. The Coleman is so much better than the stove, you know. But what do you think about the T-fail pan? Did it do a good job last time, Rosie?
Yeah, it did a good job.
On the, it was barely no sticking on that jambalaya, you know.
Did a good job. Yep.
So this is going to have a lot of good flavor in here. All the juices from the beef and the fat are going to infuse this nice little roux gravy we're making in here. It's going to be beautiful with the mushrooms, garlic, onion, flour, and flour in there a little bit, and then just cooking with some beef broth, and it's going to reduce. And it's just going to be an explosion of flavor. And then you put just a little bit of sour cream to make it creamy, and then you can garnish with extra sour cream. You put some chives in there. If you want to make it look pretty, you can put chives, fresh chives on your serving plate, but you just put them in here, put some sour cream, and you're good to go.
If you need anything, Marshall, I got my fish gloves on.
No, I prefer basically.
We're drinking
Rosie,
right now.
So Rosie, I was going to ask you, have you ever used a pressure cooker for anything?
No.
Really? Man, also when you cook stuff in a pressure cooker, like it makes it like tender. You know? What's nice about tonight is it's not that cold. It's very pleasant out here. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off.
We got the Yule logs on tonight. Christmas Yule log. Burning up some mulberries tonight. Oh, get those big boys on there. Woo! Fire roasted.
I'm going to go ahead and get another plate.
Yeah. Evening, everybody. KFC is cooked in pressure cookers. Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, I mean, pressure cookers, man, that ain't the future. It's great, man.
I think fish gloves make it taste great. We're underway. It is cocktail hour. Good evening, everybody. Zombie homeless. I'm saying I gotta watch out for the zombie homeless jumping the fence, sneaking in and watching our chat room. Yeah, I popped on for a minute, Amy.
Got all these beautiful fat.
Can you see the fire? Okay.
Beef is coming out of it.
What's up, Bully? How you
A
doing?
lot of great flavor.
Fundy, can you run down the store and get me a 6-pack, please? Yes. Fish gloves.
You gotta let this reduce a little bit to get some browning going on.
Nothing like the smell of cod. I'm never gonna wash these.
Burning my eyes. Now you've got this beef here. It's getting to the brown stage. It's releasing a lot of its juices. We're going to let some of those juices reduce.
Hey, you
We'll
have
get to the browning process. Beautiful. A lot of good flavor in this pan. You don't want to throw anything away.
There you go, lavender. What's up? What's up, Perfect? How are you? Well, it's another Saturday night on the Rancho, and we are in Kitchen Stadium once again. And Chef is preparing beef stroganoff tonight. Got all the fixings. I binged watch your night chats. Thank you, Pickles. Appreciate that. Beautiful over there. It's pouring cats and dogs. Yeah, it's supposed to rain. Yeah. It's gonna be raining tomorrow. Sorry you didn't win the cabinet. Yeah. Note that. No worries, Brary. I was just an honor to be nominated, but I suspect Bob Wells won. So. But just to be nominated was great for that. And it was wonderful, and I have a lot of appreciation for Camo Dave and Life with Aaron. The Taser. How you doing, North Hank? Rain will keep, the rain keeps everybody away.
Let's release most of its fat. It's cooking down. All these beautiful beef juices. Right. Okay. Good.
I'm on fire.
Now we're at the stage where it's pretty much gotten brown. We just want some of this liquid to reduce it.
Yeah, the fire's going good. Hi, Diane. I got to keep it.
And create a little bit of browning and a little bit of.
I got to keep
fun
it.
at the bottom.
I got to keep it tended tonight. 56. You may need to. I know it's getting colder, but it wasn't a
chop up this onion here.
wasn't a bad day. You can see
Just a rough chop onion.
Marshall just put his jacket on. It hasn't really been cold today. Buenas noches, Pink. Always cook good food. Yeah, I mean, the jambalaya last week was amazing. It was tasty. We've had lemon meringue pie, Russian tea cookies, lemon cakes. Marshall's like, I've cooked more here than, than I have.
Well, once you get the hang of things, you know.
I think it's great.
Chop this onion here.
I think it's great. Tree huggers running away from home.
Stroganoff.
How you doing, Lotus Blossom? We're caught in a trap. Fish.
This meat is reducing really good, these juices.
How's it smell? Good? Hey D, what's going on, D? What is
Got
going on?
a lot of good marble in this meat, a lot of good fat.
Fingers doing better, Lotus, thank you. Joe Smith, nice to see you. I'm glad you're enjoying the show tonight.
A lot of good marbling in this meat.
We're both
We've already got to the stage of browning. Now we just need to reduce these liquids here.
we're both broadcasting on our cell phones. I'm just monitoring on the laptop here. So, Rosie,
That'll
will
take a
Marshall
while to
be eating
reduce
Christmas
that.
dinner at the kids there? We
And,
got a
go
good
ahead
D. We got to figure out what we're going to do for Christmas.
Chop up this chive.
Got that big Yule log on there, man. That sucker is big. B-I-G.
Chop up these chives, put them in a safe place here. Chives will be for garnish. Just garnishing the plate. This gives it a nice little color. I don't think you need them really, but it gives it a nice little color, you know. So I'll go ahead and just give these a little chop. I don't really think you need chives for it, but like I said, the recipe calls it. I don't think it really does anything, but it gives it a little bit of color. All right. Just a nice little chop. We'll go ahead and put these here. Put them on the side for the end of the dish when we go in to put the sour cream. Just a little finishing touch.
Man, look at that fire tonight.
Woo! Yeah.
I got the Yule log.
While that's going, I'm going to go ahead and mince my garlic. Yep. Just reduce all that liquid in there so we can get a little bit of browning, because there's a lot of fat and liquid. Let's get into that point, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to crush this garlic up here and put the garlic on the side. Actually, it's already been crushed. Just give it a nice little dice. Get the garlic up as fine as you can. Once we get to the stage where this juice is reduced, we'll be achieving a little bit of browning here and fun on the pan that we want.
At this point, Chef is giving wonderful tips on how to deal with garlic in your recipe. Pay close attention.
We're almost there. It's reduced by about 50% liquid.
Hey, Miss Kitty, how are
With
you?
a nice chop. Put a nice fine dice on it.
All right, take care, D. Have a good one. Merry Christmas to you.
Which D was that, Rosie?
D Dubs.
Oh, D Dubs. Okay.
D Dubs. You need anything, Marshall? Are you okay?
I thought he's an atheist. He doesn't believe, or no, he's a Muslim, right?
Well, you can still wish somebody Merry Christmas season.
But Muslims don't celebrate Christmas.
Well, you can still a friendly thing to say. Bella Lugosi, never liked garlic. Wow. Yeah, Cab says, Elvis, do you know how to make sushi? Huh?
I don't like sushi.
Hey, Red Cup, I love sushi. Get ready for your live. This hair is hanging over the food. You can hear Chef
That beef is
frantically chopping.
almost to that point of reduction. It's getting there yet.
He's doing a good job on that beef.
He's got to reduce this liquid and get to brown.
That was a pretty
lot
good.
of-
That was a pretty good chuck roast, huh?
Yep. Gonna cook nice and slow in there.
I love a dragon roll. I love a rainbow roll too.
Got our garlic minced here, that's ready. Once the beef is nice and brown and that liquid is reduced, I'm going to put it in here and we'll start building our Stroganoff sauce. A lot of nice fat in here, a lot of nice juices. Getting some browning. A little bit of liquid left in there, that's going to reduce. Everything's ready. See how this thing opens here. That's open, okay. It takes a while to get this to reduce.
Let
A
us
lot of good flavor in this thing. Use a lot of beef flavor.
let us go over and take a peek.
See, we're at that point where almost all the juices have been reduced. And we want to reduce as much as we can with the juice so we can get a kind of a fond at the bottom of the pan.
All right. Beef stroganoff night.
I'm going to get my butter.
You better get your beer.
Get my teaspoon.
I almost forgot to put on my fish glove. Elvis, a graduate of Le Cordon Bleu, the CIA Culinary Institute of America.
We're getting some browning on this meat. And we've almost reduced the liquid here.
Yeah, I moved it away from the beer. Rancho beef stroganoff.
Yeah, that's brown pretty good. I can go ahead and take it out now. I'm gonna leave some of that juice in there.
Yeah, that's right, Charles. Charles Foster
That's where all
Kane.
the flavors
How you doing,
at.
Mark Handler?
Is in that juice. That beef
As
is
if.
brown pretty good. I'm gonna take the beef out. I'm gonna leave that
Yeah,
nice
Merry Christmas, everyone.
little flavored oil in there. And now what we'll do is we'll get a little bit of
Yeah, wear my
butter.
fish gloves. That's it. Marshall's prohibited me from coming near the food with my fish gloves tonight.
Get some butter here. More. That's good enough right there.
Thank you, Pink. Yeah, hit that like button if you're enjoying the stream tonight.
Go ahead and throw our mushrooms in
Chuck roast for beef stew.
and
soup.
our onions.
Merry Christmas, Rhonda.
Wait
Sing
for
a
these
Christmas
mushrooms to
duet.
break
We
down.
wish you a Merry Christmas. We
Put our
wish
onion
you a
in.
Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings to
we get a
you,
little bit
to
of
all
salt.
far and near. Good
Salt is gonna
tidings
help
for
break down the
Christmas
veggies.
and a Happy New Year.
Okay. Some caramelization. Put in some black pepper a
Hey
little bit.
Cindy, how you doing, baby doll? Merry Christmas to you, you beautiful thing. Beautiful. Yeah, we've got a. I'm on the cell phone. It's like cell phone technology's passed by computers now, so I'm monitoring the
So
chat.
you want the
here.
color of your beef to be kind of a brown like this. That's
Fish
what you want
gloves.
in your beef color. Let me get a little bit of a caramelization on that, like that. See that?
Like the stove did okay.
Yeah, just a little bit of caramelization like that on the beef, okay? That's what you want it to look like. We're going to go ahead and break these down. Get some caramelization on these. You want these to cook down.
Thank
soak
you,
up all
Rhonda.
that butter.
Yeah, it's nice to see Cindy. Did you find a good laptop? I forgot to look for it
These
today.
down really
I
good,
was
get 'em
I
brown.
was kind of busy with the. It was slow going with the van today, but electrically I got to check everything very
Once
carefully.
that's cooked down and nice and brown,
Be careful,
we'll add
I
our
might
garlic.
choke.
We'll add our white. we'll
Mince
add our flour,
mince
actually.
pies and apple pies and fresh biscuits for dinner,
After this is brown
for
nicely,
Christmas
we'll
dinner.
add some little bit of
Thank
flour,
you, Pickles. Much appreciated.
And then we'll add
$2
some,
from Pickles McGee. Thank you
some
for
white
the
wine and beef
entertainment.
broth.
Thank you, my friend.
And we'll add some garlic. We'll add some garlic. Brown that up and then put some flour. Make our sauce.
Thank you for the entertainment, Rosie. Smiley face.
Thank
This has to
you,
cook down here.
Pickles
Get all the water
McGee.
out of
Much
the mushrooms, get them
appreciated.
nice and
Thank you.
golden brown. So the beef here is like this brown.
How's beef?
Brown.
Did you try one?
Yeah. All we do is just heat the sauce. Want to get these nice and brown. Get these nice and brown. Once these get nice and brown, then you'll throw some garlic in, put a little bit of flour in, then you'll put your roux. You're gonna put a little bit of white wine to deglaze.
You got your beef, bro?
Yeah. No, I'm fine.
Okay. You want a beer or anything?
No, I'm okay. I got coffee now.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, man. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Brary. Took a while to just figure out what they had in mind when they designed that panel. That's it. Tonight's Kitchen Stadium featured dish
Down
beef
here really good. Give me
stroganoff.
about 10 minutes to break these down or so. get all you want to get all the water out of the mushrooms, get them nice and brown, get some caramelization. You want to get all the water out of the onion, get more caramelized sugar stain, get all the sugar in there. And then we'll make our little roux. Let that cook down. That'll take a while.
Well, it said to use that. It said to use chuck roast. I was sitting there by the cozy fire with you. There you go, Maggie. I got a really nice fire. It took a lot to get it going tonight. I got the big Yule logs on.
Hey Rosie, what do you think about Rachel Ray and her when she used to cook her 30-minute meals? Was it a pretty good cook?
Yeah, good cook. Not a chef, but a good cook. Mouse Toad says she's usually tenderloin. We just followed the recipe you called for chops.
I've always wanted to make this because I love beef stroganoff. So,
Man, what a fire tonight, huh? We're putting on the Yule logs now.
you want to break these mushrooms and onions down as much as you can.
Putting on the Yule logs.
You want to get these mushrooms to get really toasty and brown, caramelized, get that nutty flavor out of them. It takes a while to get that water out of them.
Smells good.
I see the beef is brown now, but I think when you put it back in the gravy, then it helps it get it tenderized in the simmering process. It helps it get it where it soaks up all the flavor of the gravy, and then like it's a tenderizing process. I think if I made this dish again, Rosie, I would make it with straight ribeye steak. You know why? It'd be ready to eat in 10 minutes. You wouldn't have to break the meat down.
Well, the meat tasted pretty good right there. You know?
Yeah, but it's chuck, you know, so it's a tougher cut of meat.
Thank you, Charles. The popping of the fire. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the. I'm enjoying it. I love these Saturday night. I love it when Marshall cooks. It's great. You know, I cook myself out here. I do mostly baking. Yeah, we have sour cream, Cindy. Yep. We got some sour cream.
I think what makes this gives it that flavor is the meat, the fat, and the chuck. But
Not me, Charles. Thank you.
so we're cooking chuck tonight, not Tom, not Harry.
Baby, it's cold. Do, 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 do. Baby, it's cold outside. I really can't stay. Oh, yes, you can. Well, maybe I can.
These are getting
Grab that
water's coming
nightie.
at 'em.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, you used the fried rice recipe. That's cool. I liked it. I really enjoyed the Mongolian beef. That was good.
let that cook
Linda
down.
said it's going to be 70 here at Christmas. Man, it's nice. We got some jumbo logs on tonight. I'm feeding this fire like crazy.
Just in case there's too much char. Smiley face.
There we go. Just in case there's too much char. Thank you, Jen.
Sourdough bread I got. I want to show everybody. I'm going to just snack on it a little bit because I'm starving. Sourdough bread, San Luis from, I think it's from the area. It's local. Got a little butter on this. Toast it, man. This is some good stuff right here.
How's it smell? Good.
Yeah. You want a
Got
piece?
the end piece? Yeah, you got a little end piece there, or did you
I
already?
already had. You want a piece?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm going to save myself for dinner. Thank you. I'd like a piece for breakfast tomorrow. That'd be good. Thank you, Jen Jen. Yeah, the fire is really nice. Got to spike it up a little bit. We got some big logs on tonight. Yep, big logs. I want like a Christmas fire.
They like pretty easy today.
No, it was really hard today because of the extra rain. It took like 5 loads of gasoline to get this thing going. You know, 'cause I got some big logs on tonight, so I want real raging fire tonight.
Takes a while, but we're getting there. We're getting the.
Yeah, we're getting there. Thank you everybody for being here tonight. Stoking that fire like a beast.
Breaking the onions and mushrooms down, getting that caramelization. This is what's going to give your stroganoff that nice.
Yes, the king is in his winter residence here in California. Look at it, man. In Chicago, it'd be freezing.
Oh yeah. Oh
20,
yeah.
22 degrees.
Yep.
Woo!
Well, they're breaking down here. Another few minutes. Those are going to break down. And we'll start building our stroganoff sauce. They're getting nice, almost there, almost. We want to get them more. Get a nice brown.
This fish smell is helping me build up an appetite tonight.
That fish smell will take away your appetite. I almost threw up smelling those on the in Lisa Marie the other day. They were right in my face on top of my fridge cabinet. And they made me throw up almost.
Woo.
You know how Charles Barkley says, terrible, terrible.
Terrible, terrible. Yeah,
So
Paula.
Rosie, what's your Super Bowl predictions? It's coming up.
Baltimore Ravens
Versus the Patriots.
No, it ain't going to be the Patriots because they're both in the AFC. Probably the New Orleans Saints and the Baltimore Ravens.
Alright, so these.
Hopefully the
are
Ravens will
almost
have their
there. We wanna get them a
third
little
Super
more
Bowl
toasty.
title. Go Ravens. There you go, Joe Smith. Go purple.
Smell those mushrooms? That nutty flavor, Rosie?
Happy Hanukkah.
This is what gets you the,
What is it?
you smell the nutty flavor of the mushrooms here? Now, let's see, can we put this down to medium a little bit? Can you turn it down a notch? That's out of your way. If you can just turn it down a little, not that much, just to get it to medium. That's good right there. That's good. So these are pretty much caramelized. We're going to go ahead and add our garlic. We're going to go ahead and cook that down. Get that nice and cooked down for a bit. So we're in the basis of making our sauce now.
That's a lot of garlic, bro.
Ooh. Thank you, Sheriana, $10. Thank you.
Hey, Nomadic Ninja. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, the garlic will cook that in really.
Definitely a sweetheart, Nomadic Ninja. Thank you, sweetie. Much love to you and Susie. You guys are great. Oh, boy.
Brown.
Marsha loves that nutty flavor. Womp.
There we go, the nutty flavor. That's it.
And now we'll go ahead.
Thank you,
and put in
Nomadic Ninja. I appreciate it. And
some flour
God
to
bless
build
you
our
and your
roux.
mom in 2019. And I'm looking forward, in 2020, I'm looking forward to meeting you.
That's good. We're gonna build our. Okay, I'm done with that. Go ahead. Huh? I'm done with the. Oh, yep. Go ahead. I gotta make my rooters. So.
All right.
You want to cook
Thanks
out
again,
this
Chris.
flour here.
What a sweetie.
This is gonna create a roux. Once we get this flour cooked up, and then we will deglaze our pan. We're in the process of making the roux right now, so. And I will go ahead and turn this up here. We want to cook out that flour. We've already browned our garlic. This is the basis for our sauce. This is essentially our roux. And in a minute here, we will deglaze this with a little bit of white wine. Okay. Right about now, go ahead and deglaze this with a little bit of white wine. Cook that out. Nice. Brings our roux together. Put a little bit more in. Okay. And then we'll add our chicken broth after. Let that cook that wine out, and then we'll put a little bit of chicken broth. Or sorry, beef broth. Not too much. 2 cups. 3 cups.
Man, you don't even measure?
No, I mean just eyeball. You don't have to measure it.
Jeez.
Bring that to a boil. And I can tell by the roux what we need. And we need a little bit more liquid because you have a lot of beef here to cook, so I'll put a little bit more of this beef broth. We have a lot of concentrate of flavor in there. Bring that to a boil. That should be good, and we'll put the beef back in. That's good right there. And
Is this when it's got to cook for an hour?
I've got to bring this. Yeah, I've got to bring this to a boil, and then I'll put the meat in, and you got to cook it for 1 hour because the beef is. If you don't cook it for an hour, your beef ain't gonna be tender. So you can cook it for 10 minutes and eat raw beef.
I only asked. I'm not
You can cook it for an hour and eat tough beef. So that's up to you, whatever you want to do. I'm just following the recipe.
I'm not telling you how to cook. I only asked.
That's up to you.
No, I only asked you.
The recipe says you got to cook it for an hour because the beef is tough. It's a chuck roast. If it was a ribeye or something like that, then yeah. So that's going to come up to a boil. Go ahead and we'll put our beef back in. All those beautiful juices of the beef. And we'll just bring this back up to temperature, and then we'll make sure we incorporate that into the sauce. And just bring that to a nice, and then cover. That's what it's pretty much supposed to look like. Incorporated into that sauce. That's just about the right amount of beef broth for this roux. And all that's going to do is just thicken up over the time that is sitting in there. We want to go ahead and coat that beef really good with the sauce. So that's pretty much what it's going to look.
Oh,
The only
man,
difference
where'd
is
my
it'll be
fish?
probably darker and
I'm missing my fish glove there. It is.
so that is ready right now to simmer. It's already come to a boil. That's what it looks like. Now I'm going to cover it. Now, how long you want me to go on this, Rosie? It's ready to cover it.
tell you. I'm not involved.
I'll put it as low as I can because you don't want to boil it if you want to steam it. So I'll put it. That's as low as we can go here. And that's just going to steam. So that's it.
Yeah,
What's the time right now? Right now
it is 7:07.
7:07. So you're supposed to cook this for an hour. So at 8:07, we should be ready to plate it with some noodles. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start my cleanup process. And I'll put this camera back there, and I'll give you guys an overview of what's going on here. Because this needs an hour to cook. This needs an hour to cook, so go ahead and start with my cleanup process. Guys, a different camera view while I get cleaned up here because this takes an hour to cook and then we'll be ready. Give you guys a little bit of a bigger overview. There's Elisa looking sweet, too sweet. Look at that shine on Elisa, baby. Look at that. Coats of wax up here now. Look at that reflection. You can see it really good up here on this one. Look at that. I'll put the camera up here for now. Give you guys just a little overview. Rosie's down there.
Hello, everybody. Elvis cooking tonight.
So 7:07 is our
Drinking Bush. Yeah, there we go.
I'm going to go ahead and kind of get cleaned up here.
Hey, Mila, I'm going to start the noodles at about 10 of 8.
I think what it is, this just browns the meat, and then when you put it, because it's a chuck roast and it's got the fat, it's got to break down. It's got to have a simmer like
Right.
pot roast. So
That's probably
I
why
think that's
truck
one.
roast needs a little longer.
A little longer, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you make this recipe, say with ribeye steak, you might be able to do it. Well, you'll be done in 10 minutes, because that cooks in no time, and that's got the same fat that this has.
Right.
You have a slower cooking time. So.
This is a lesser cut of meat.
Right. So you want your beef broth in your fridge, Rosie?
Hey, Cat.
You want this in your fridge?
Yeah. You'll be taking anything else?
No, I got everything else. That's all. There wasn't much to it, really.
All right.
I'm pretty much done. So the only thing that'll be added to this right now is basically, people say season, taste your food as you go. No, I don't believe in that. You know why? because you don't want to over salt or over pepper your food. You let the people. Let me put my flash off. Gotta put this off. I don't know why I kept it on. It's gonna run my battery down. But what I wanted to say is, I've heard people say this over and over again about cooking. Don't take it off. Don't take the top off. There's no reason to take it off. Don't take it off. Okay. You gotta make sure it's centered in there too.
With the fish, but I was touching.
It
Nice
just-
way of saying don't touch it in the fish bar.
It's just bubbling up in there, so. I guess I can. Don't take the top off. So anyways, when people say, I just want to say this officially, when people say, I hate looking at these lights, are blinded, gosh. When people say, I don't know how you look at these.
Well, it's not facing me.
Right.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, when,
Pull your chair up.
yeah, let me just say this real quick. When they say taste your food as you go in season, I disagree with that, because at the end when somebody cooks food, if you want to put salt or pepper in your food, you put it to your taste, not to the chef's taste. So if I put salt and pepper, I might do it to my taste, but not to somebody else's taste. And that's also with the heat level, like the jambalaya. I didn't put there was no heat in there at all. It was just spices that wasn't spicy. And then so Rosie could control it. She could put Tabasco sauce, she could put chili flakes, she could do whatever she wants to spice it up on her own. So when you season it to your taste and not to a massive. That's why when you go to places and you order gumbo or whatever, it's usually bland, and you got to spice it up with your own spices, you know. So I don't agree with taste as you cook. No, if I season it, I'll season it the way that I like it, and then Rosie and Jen won't agree with it. So it's better if they season it to taste and they heat it up to taste rather than I do that. Because if I made jambalaya the other day, I put a whole bunch of garlic and peppers, and I put more spices, and they wouldn't be able to eat it. So that's what I disagree when they say a real chef doesn't taste his food while he's cooking or seasons to taste. He lets the people season it. And that's why the jambalaya, they can put as much salt in there as they want, or black pepper, or Tabasco sauce. That's just the way it is. I mean, do you have a point there that I'm making? You know, because
Thank you, Brary. Smile, Rosie Fish Gloves.
if I would have put too much salt in the jambalaya, you would say it's salty. If I would have put too much,
Smile Rosie Fish Gloves.
if I would have put too much lime or lemon juice in the jambalaya, you'd be like, it's too lemony. And if I would have put too much, if I would have put too many jalapenos or tomato, you'd say it's too hot. So
just make it perfect recipe.
Yeah.
That's all you do.
So no, it's because
So when
everybody.
your eyeballs stop, you're deviating from a recipe.
Yeah, I'm cooking for 3 people, not one person. Now, if I was cooking for myself, I might add jalapenos in there. I might add red chili flakes in there. I might add
That's not
Louisiana
a
hot
beef
sauce. And
stroganoff.
with that, you can't.
That's not a beef stroganoff, though.
No, it's a
some
fusion.
hot dish.
Yeah, it's a fusion. Yeah.
But
The flavor in this dish is the actual flavor of the beef. Is what takes over it. But so no one seasoned
they
to
said, imagine
taste.
going to a 5-star rest dinner and the chef brings out a cart of spices. And says,
Let me
"Season it
ask you a
yourself."
question. Let me ask you this question. If is Mouse Toes in there? I know
Of
she's
course,
watching.
I think she's in here. Yeah.
Okay, if she
Mouse
cooked,
toes? Are you? Yes, she's here.
let me ask you something. If she cooked jumbo
Now, are
for
you gonna believe what she said?
no, let me ask you this.
Okay.
If she cooked jumbo for us, if she cooked jumbo for me, you, and Miss Jen, right?
Jambalaya.
Gumbo. Let's say jambalaya. Let's say
Okay.
jambalaya, right? And when she says you should taste it and season to taste, how does she know how much heat level or spice level
Well,
or
she
seasoning salt level
probably-
that we know that? How can she read the taste
Well,
buds
let's
of
see
three
what
people?
she says over
And when people say that, it doesn't make sense. I
I'm not
disagree
going to
with that.
answer for her, but let's see what she says. I'm
How
sure
is it
she's a
that
very
she
good
could
cook?
Yeah, I like it really spicy. You like it medium. Jen
Medium.
doesn't like anything
Right.
spicy at all. So how is it that one chef can cook something and say, you know what,
Well, you just
I can
make
get
the
everybody
basic,
to like the
you
way
make the basic recipe is written.
right.
Because if you deviate it, you're not making, you're making spicy beef stroganoff or something.
Right,
That's my only point.
But when they say season to taste, even with salt, if you put
Let's
too
see
much
what
salt or
Mouse
pepper,
Toes-
it might be too salty.
That's cool. Let me see what
You
Mouse
can add your own
Toes.
salt, I mean,
Let's
that's-
see what Mouse Toes says.
that's
Yeah,
my
Mouse
que-
is
that's
in the
question
house.
that I have to her.
Hey,
What she
look
says-
at what's up, tribe.
When they say season to taste or season taste it while you cook, what do you mean by that? You're seasoning for yourself or you're seasoning for 3 people? How do you know how much salt I would want
I
in there
just
or
make it
pepper?
to the recipe. That's all.
Well, see, some people don't want salt on all. Some people have high blood pressure. Some people can't eat
Well, we
pepper.
have low sodium thing.
You know what I mean?
Oh man,
That's why, you know what the answer is?
smooth operator. That's
The answer
funny.
is you use Ms. Dash. You use salt-free seasoning. Some people have high blood pressure. Some people don't like salt. Rosie salts the heck out of everything. I see her put ranch dressing on her salad. Then she'll
I've
throw a
never
whole load of
used-
salt
I
on
never
top of
use
that.
ranch. I use Thousand Island.
Thousand Island, and then she'll throw a bunch of salt on
Not
it.
a
On
bunch.
top of it.
I give a shake or two of the shaker.
So that's how it is.
But I have low blood pressure, so
So this is bubbling up here. It's on a low flame. It's doing its job.
no. There you go, funny.
So that's the thing with that, you know.
That fire's looking beautiful tonight, isn't it? Sodium on my taters. There you go, Jen. Oh, wow. He does good, though. That jambalaya was good. That was good. That was a tasty treat.
And
That was
Done.
good. The jambalaya was good.
oh, it was
Wasn't
great.
too hot.
That
It
was the
wasn't too-
first time that I cooked it too.
Yeah, it was good. So it wasn't too hot. It wasn't too mild.
Rice
I
was
like
great.
I like things moderately spicy. But you're always telling me, man, my stomach is so bad. I
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
lay off the
yeah.
spicy.
Yeah, you're right. But still, we're talking about heat, paprika.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
It was
smoke.
good.
It was good. It was good. It had a good. It had a good flavor to it.
It did have a good flavor.
I was surprised how good the rice came out.
Well, if you just have to throw it in,
You know,
it's probably pretty good.
yeah, real.
And we got a roaring fire now. We got the broom on, the mulberry.
I want to make something. I want to make that. I want to make. I know you're not a big fan of chili, Mac. And I want to make the beef goulash recipe. I know you don't like elbow macaroni, right?
No, it's fine. I'm going to make something Monday night, I think. But Tuesday night, I've got
Chinese
stuff.
again?
No. Thank you, Marshall.
I'm
You
gonna
always
take this
have
back.
to dig it in a little bit. According to stuff runs downhill. from
This
me.
is
That's
the
it.
official high quality Rancho knife. Who made
Henkel's.
this?
Henkel's.
Henkel's?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, Henkel's.
Janet gave me that.
Yeah.
Anything like that, though, having spaghetti dinner. right into the pot. That's how they make ale, by the way. They close the doors to the brewery. Get the laser gun, I know. How you doing, RB Debs? What's up, honey? Happy Hanukkah to you, and Merry Christmas. Can you roll out some AstroTurf and make it boiled bread pudding? There you go, catcher. Stir the bottom. Somebody thought maybe you should stir the bottom or it might burn. I don't know.
No, it's not going to burn. It's just reducing.
I'm just reading the chat. That's all. We got some pretty renowned cooks in here.
Okay, let me.
Well, I'm relaying. It's not me.
We have a lot of liquid in there. There's a lot of liquid in there right now. I don't even know if it's okay. Let me get my camera now. Give it a little stir. But I have to bring the heat back up because we're losing the steam if we do that. All it's doing is just simmering the liquid down. But if there's not enough liquid, you have to add beef broth. So I think I added the right amount of. I can always add a little more beef broth. If we have enough liquid in there where it's not going to burn.
I'm only telling you what they said in the chat.
All right, let's see. There's a lot of liquid in here. See, and all you want to do, and you can always add a little more. Is this leg going to come off, Rosie?
No, this
Okay.
thing shouldn't come off.
Okay. So there it is.
Oh, I guess I should whiz in it.
This is going to thicken up here. And we could always add more beef broth for the simmering process.
No, I'd like to keep a good chat, Donna. I've just never been one to be into cursing and things. I just it's just me.
Yeah.
I've never been one to do a lot of cursing on streams and things. So.
It's already thickening up. There you go.
All right.
All that's going to do is just simmer. We can always add more beef broth if you want to thicken it up. Here. But that has to cook down, just steam down in there. And if you want to add more beef broth, you can add more beef broth and have a little more.
Man, what an epic fire tonight. I don't even know if you guys can see that now. Can you? There we go. I'm blocking it.
Put that back. So no, this shouldn't burn. All it's going to do is just simmer in.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
if you need to add
I
more,
was just relaying what
Okay.
somebody in the chat said. That's all.
If you need to
I
add
wasn't
more-
making my own. How you doing, JT? I wasn't making my own thing on
It wasn't
that.
burned at all. All it's going to do is just that liquid is going to just simmer down. And if you need to add more beef broth to get it to more, it all depends on how thick you want it. If you want it nice and thick, if you don't add that much beef broth. If you want more a little bit watery, you add more beef broth. So
Sounds good.
it shouldn't burn.
I never
Because
made it. I never made it before, so I don't have an opinion on it.
This is the first time I've made it, but I just followed the guy's recipe. So now by taking the top off, you lose all your steam, and then now we've got to get the steam back. So I might have to turn the flame on to get the steam back, but we've lost the temperature and steam. So I'm going to have to turn it back up because we've lost our steam. Once I get it to bubble, then I cover it again.
We lost steam.
Yeah, we lost our
You got to get the steam back.
yep. Just to do that,
Have a beer on me. Nomadic Ninja,
it
thank
to
you,
bubble,
Chris.
and then put it on
$5. Have a beer on me. I'm gonna have a few on you. Take the top
Again,
off.
like people are saying,
Lamau have a beer on me.
There we go. Thank you, Chris. Merry Christmas to you.
you know how they were saying before, mix the rice, it's gonna burn, and nothing burned. It came out great. It actually came out prettier by not mixing it, because people could see all the stuff on top of the jambalaya, the meat. So that's not gonna burn. If you keep it on low, all it is it's gonna simmer. But if you
Marshall, I
want-
don't have an opinion. I was just telling you what they said in the chat. That's all. I never made it before. I'm not a cook. I'm more of a baker.
Right.
You know, so I'm not
Now,
going
if you
to.
want to add more,
Although my Mongolian beef was great. Oh, Mila Bella. Mila, you done enough today, honey. Have a Valium on me. You deserve it. Buy a 12-pack of Michelob Ultra. Nomadic Ninja.
Rosie have a Valium on me, you deserve it.
I'll be your assistant at the store. I'll make sure the refrigerator door's closed. Since Nomadic Ninja doesn't work right. Let's see, just wondering, but back in August live, you said a couple choice words, but never hear any. I wasn't monetized between mid-April and Thanksgiving, so I was a little more. But now with new YouTube terms and rules and things, I was never much of a cursor on stream. So it's more in keeping with my nature, I think, to be that way. I mean, basically everything I put up now, it's something that anybody can watch. Hug Susie. Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. Beer will pull. Call for more tonight. Tonight, let it be lower brow. Thank you, Nellin. $1.99. Nellin, you were 1 penny short of making the making the alert, but thank you. How you doing, Crystal? Thank you, Nellin. What a sweetheart Nellin is. I can't believe Christmas is on. I can't believe 2020 is almost here. Todd's in the hospital, had to go to surgery. Oh my goodness. Sorry to hear that, Bev. And I think Marshall's had a blast cooking too, you know. He's had a blast cooking. What a fire. What a fire. I really can't stay. Baby, it's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside. I got the big Yule logs on tonight. Oh, Chris, keep your money in your pocket, man. You work hard for your dough. Have a few beers and some earplugs for the noise. There you go. Well, I tell you, he did a good job on that. Jambalaya was great. If they had served that to me,
Have a few beers, lols, and some earplugs for the noise behind you.
noise behind me. If they had served that at Crispy Cajun in Clearwater, I would have loved that place. But they served some jambalaya that was too hot to even eat. It was inedible, in my opinion. Quirky. I think it was inedible at Crispy Cajun. It was too hot.
Too hot, yeah.
No, you're fine, Nellen. It's telling you to keep your money in your pocket, honey.
Yeah, it was too hot.
It was too hot, and even Marshall, who has an asbestos tongue or whatever, it was too hot for him. He's like, whoa.
Too hot, yep.
Too hot.
Yep. Bubbling there. That's kind of low. Bubbling there. Flame, but I don't know, just not good. Now it's bubbling again. Just slowly. That's what we needed right there.
Shalom Shabbat, Missy Jen.
Okay.
I think I caught a smell of it. It smelled pretty good.
Yeah, it's just it's just that this flame was so low that it wasn't even bubbling. So I had to get it up, put it up a little bit. Now I put it up a little bit, and now it's getting a little bit of bubble.
Look at that tonight, man. First class fire over there, huh? Mulberry wood, everything on there. That's the way a Christmas fire should look. Huh? Going on the big stuff tonight.
And as far as grilling, charcoal cooking is so much better than the gas stove. Lump charcoal. If you had some grates, you could put some lump charcoal in there and do like
Couldn't you cook over those coals down there?
yeah, but you need a grate. You don't.
Yeah, I don't have a grate.
You have to get a grate.
Yeah. Where can we get a grate?
I wonder if you could just get a grate by itself.
Yeah.
All you need is a nice grate, and you could.
Take the side off the generator.
Off the generator door? What do you mean?
The new grate, the new grill oil. Use that. You gotta get yourself a beer, you heard? Get yourself a Modelo. You done good. Smells good. Happy Coors RV Fat Cat. What a gal. One of the greatest comedians.
I want to make sure this is bubbling because it had it so low and
I can turn this.
it wasn't bubbling. Now it's bubbling. Okay, good.
We got a really good picture. I mean, I've just about given up on computers. Just use
The
this.
bad thing about the stove, it doesn't have the wind guards.
That's
where it
why I
guards
always.
the flame.
That's when I was cooking. I always had to put this thing around it to keep it from going out. Yeah,
That's one of the
you're already
weaknesses in
shouted
the
out here.
Now I got it up to where it needs to be, but it's battling that wind. It's still getting in there.
Chef determined that we are battling unusual weather conditions in Kitchen Stadium tonight. How will he adjust?
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, you better stop spending your money. Thank you. You know, sleeping pills in someone's mirror makes for a silent
Right.
night. Yes, it does.
You know sleeping pills in someone's beer makes for a silent night lols.
Yes, it does.
I'm gonna have to sit somewhere where that light isn't blinding me. I just
Well, I turned the light away.
I can't take the light. It's just blinding. That one is I don't think we even need that.
Well, I'm turning it off.
Yeah, just just so.
There you go. I'm just turning it off right now. I'm just
Alright.
enjoying the fire and everything. Smells good. Now it's time you enjoy and get yourself a beer and
Yeah.
reap
just
the
wait,
reap the rewards of your cooking tonight.
wait for this to cook.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Reap the rewards of your cooking.
Let me set this up here.
You have that there. I just want to make sure the fire, I'm not blocking out the fire back there. That's good.
Well, I got this up to where it needs to be.
All right. Hey, Sean.
Getting the bubble, which is what I want to see. Okay.
Kitchen Stadium is on fire tonight as Chef Elvis Travels attempts
I haven't lowered than that.
the famed beef stroganoff, first made famous at the court of Peter the Great. Let's watch. You want to smell my fish gloves? I just think YouTube not so. I agree, Donna White. Sometimes YouTube can be the worst thing in the world. Absolutely. Ask me, I'll tell you about it sometimes. Man, look at that fire, Marshall.
Yep.
It's classic. Classic.
All right. See who's on here. So, I'm gonna have to let that sit. Let's see who's on here. Bring this closer so I can see. Let's see. What's going on, Sherianna? I'm gonna ask Rosie to make sure that thing is bubbling because I had it so low it wasn't even bubbling. So can you check and see just on the top of that, Rosie, if it's bubbling? Can you just check? Don't take the top off, but just check and see if it's bubbling.
Just give me a second.
That's all. If you get a chance. Let's see, it's about. It is bubbling.
Hey Marsha. I love my fake van life. And here Rosie have some more money. Woo.
Oh my goodness, Chris, you work hard for your money, man. Put it towards your van. Come on. Come on. Thank you, sweetie. But wow. It's a nice picture tonight, isn't it, Marshall? What a beautiful one. It's not raining here. It's really
Well,
nice.
it's not windy. It's not too cold tonight. It's actually, you don't even need a fire tonight. It's fine.
Thanks, Chris. You have all the parts for my van.
Yeah.
There we go. Chris is going to say we need
So-
we need to wire my van now, Rosie.
Well, I think what Rosie's gonna do, I think she'll help out somebody else with their van, but it'll be somebody that she wants to help. It could be D-Dubs. It could be another guy to try to make a name for himself, like this Ninja guy. Anybody else that wants to get views. Now, I don't know if he's monetized, but everybody wants to build off of Rosie for views.
No, he's just a nice
for-
guy, you know.
For subscriptions, for support. So I didn't have to build off of Rosie. I already was built myself on YouTube. I already have my own audience. I didn't have to build off of hers. Even though a lot of her people watch me, but for years and years I had my own fan base. I had people supporting me that watch me. I didn't have to build off of Rosie. I didn't have to get a shout out from Rosie. I didn't have to go on her panel to build myself. I built myself organically.
Although we had fun times when you
just out of the God-given talent. But now what's happened is Rosie's got her own people that watch her.
But you have to admit, some
but-
of the panel stuff was pretty funny. wasn't it?
Well, the
When
panel,
you were on panel,
the
there were
panel
some
stuff,
times you were laughing like crazy.
the
and
panel stuff, the
you
first,
come in, you peasants. I have her. The king has arrived.
yeah,
you know?
but to me, her main, I was, what you want to say, the panel, the class clown, but I didn't really last in there that long. Her first birds was Jeff T. Rowe. It was this guy that paints his face like a clown and would just come and do a drunk rant for 8 hours, just nonstop. He would talk over everybody.
That was awesome.
He wasn't as belligerent as Birds, but he would just talk over everybody. And she would have him on there, and nobody could talk over this guy.
Didn't you like Jeff? He was funny.
And after that wore out,
He shot a hole in. He took a gun and shot a hole in. His
yeah, the funniest thing is when he burned a radio that Rosie sent him. That cracked me
Why
up.
do you say that's funny? That was a classic Sansui that went up in
Well,
flames,
maybe
you know?
it was kind of funny to me, but I mean, I know that probably hurt Rosie's feelings. I mean, I'm sure why it hurt
it
her.
kind of hurt my feelings, but I burned up Jeff's Carhartt hat that he sent me. You know?
Oh, really?
And I put it to Mrs. Miller music, yeah.
So maybe he was doing an offering to his God.
I don't know. I like
But-
Jeff a lot.
Anyways, but then after Jeff T. Rowe was out, that was Rosie's panel clown, class clown. Then she brought Bergs in for 2 years. And then after that was done, basically Rosie is going right now, she's in phases. And right now,
Travel
she's
phase.
out of the panel phase.
Travel phase.
Now she's in the travel phase.
And van phase.
But she could easily go right back into that panel phase where she's in there for 8 hours drinking and doing panels. And
Man, I would drink 10 beers on a hangout.
yeah, you would drink.
Yeah, I drink a lot, and I thought,
Right.
man, I'm going down that road, and I don't want to do that.
But you were funny when you drank.
Yeah,
You were
I
pretty
know.
funny. See, the thing is with Rosie, just like everybody else, Rosie doesn't smoke weed. She doesn't do anything. So the only thing that'll get her off edge is some drinking. Besides that, she's pretty timid, just
And
like
some
everybody else.
testosterone.
Yeah, she's timid. She's not shy, but she's she's on the edge. She's timid. So, and that's the only thing that got her to get to cut loose. And she was funny. Rosie was funny when she's hammered, but
So I'm going to get hammered tonight. So.
but Rosie is in phases right now. She's in
I'm in the
phases.
van build phase right now. You know?
Right.
All of my thought energies on. Now I'm thinking about where we can position another light that's going to be useful to you in
Right.
the van and stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
So you don't feel like you wasted something and bought it.
Right. I mean, so it's all about phases. Life is all about phases.
It is.
Really.
I don't feel the same at 54 when I started that I do at 61.
Yeah,
that's
I
for
mean,
sure. I mean, Mr. X would feel the same way.
and the thing is, this whole phase of Rosie with the panel phases, she's been doing this since 2013, and she just got out of it basically last year. So she's so burned out on that but
But look, people got a lot of panels they can go to now, and they can
Right.
enjoy that.
so you can't do two things at one time. You can't
It's
be
like
a traveler.
asking Jory to come back. You know.
Right. You can't travel and be on the road and do a panel. Now, if Rosie just stays here at the Rancho, she can run an 8-hour panel every night and have 10 beers. But I think she's past that phase.
Yeah.
She could go back to it.
I want to go to the border towns and explore and do all
Right.
that.
There's a lot to do in life, and
Yeah.
you can only multitask so much.
Well, you helped me open up to food. You helped me open
Right.
up to adventures. You never thought I'd go to Tijuana, and I went over.
I never thought that Rosie would do a lot of things she did. I never thought she'd go to Toronto. I didn't think she was going to go to Michigan. I knew she'd come back to Chicago. I didn't think she was going to go to... I thought she was going to come to Los Algodones, and that's it. It was over.
Surprise!
And then I got her to go into other border towns, and I didn't think she was going to do it because I just
And
she's
then there was
done.
that night in Mexicali.
Right. What happened in Mexicali stays in
Stays in
Mexicali.
Mexicali,
But
yeah.
but the thing is that She did a lot of things that I never thought she was going to do. Like do on her own. I didn't twist her hand to do it. I asked her if she would do it, and then she did it. So, I don't know where she goes from here. Does she go back to the panels?
Travel. I'm not going
Or
back.
travel, or I don't know what she's going to do.
See the world, man. Off to Nepal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what she's going to do, you know. I don't know where she goes from here. One thing when people say we miss Rosie doing her choo-choos, well,
I'll be choo-choo.
you know, I don't know. I don't know what direction she's going to go. What she's going to do, you know.
All right.
I don't know what she's going to do. Hey, she could get married. Who knows? She might have a woman move in here. She might go to China and get another wife or something. I don't know. I wouldn't even think just a realm of possibility that Rosie would just go back to living as a man. It's possible. I mean, when you're pre-op, it's possible.
Hey, how you doing, Oda May?
I think anything is possible with Rosie. Rosie's an open-minded person. She's flexible. I think she's open to anything. She might fall in love with a man. She might fall in love with a woman.
Hi, Big Bear.
You know, she might fall in love with another transgendered person. With her, anything is possible. You know,
Jackie.
she
Bruce.
might get a camper van. You know, she might
Every
go to
day
Europe.
he's
She
like
might go to
Rosie.
Asia.
Every day he's like Rosie. Tell me you don't miss your camper van now. You know.
But you know. But this is the question with Rosie. Is she going to go back to doing stuff she did in the past? Or is she going to do something new?
Always new adventures.
And that's the key to her. So Elvis Travels is responsible for getting Rosie to do things that she never did before. I broke her out of her rut.
Food rut.
Food rut, travel rut. I broke that ice. Now everybody wants the old Rosie back. 8-hour panels, chooching in the hoods. But I don't see the same. I think Rosie's changed. It's not the same Rosie we knew before.
Always moving forward. That's right.
Rosie has morphed into something else. She's not the same Rosie she used to be. You know what she is now, folks? She's a kiss stealing, wheeling dealing,
son of a gun.
van riding, tequila drinking, senorita loving, shawarma eating son of a gun.
Viva la Mexico.
And she's side by side.
Yeah, the noodles. It's about time. Yeah, I better drop the noodles
So
now.
drop the noodles.
Yeah.
Well, right now it's about 7:49.
All right, let me take my fish gloves off and wash my hands.
Okay. So Rosie's changed, and I think she's changed for the better. She's not the old Rosie we used to know, you know. Panel them up, Rosie. 8-hour panels. Let's bring it on.
Elvis thinks he's in a groove, but he's in a rut.
So, bottom line is, it's not the same Rosie we once knew. And she hasn't changed because of me. She's just changed. We all want the old you guys want the old Rosie back. I like the new Rosies. I like the traveling Rosie. You guys have never seen this kind of content. Cooking on the Rancho, van build on the Rancho, traveling to Mexico, going to places that Rosie's never been before, eating things that Rosie never ate before, seeing places that Rosie never seen before. I have revolutionized Rosie's YouTube channel. I've revolutionized her life. And I've made her channel better than it was. And all I see is a bright future. If Rosie O'Kelly follows my direction, I see a bright future ahead for Rosie O'Kelly. But if she goes back to what she used to do, well, we know what happens when you run panels. So I'm proud of myself for what I've accomplished. Out of all the YouTubers in the world, we can talk about D-Dubs. But D-Dubs, you just met Rosie 2-3 months ago. I've known Rosie since 2014. And there's no other YouTuber that has collaborated with Rosie as much as I have. And I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself of what I've accomplished with Rosie. All the content we've brought, all the things we've accomplished, all the places we've seen, and I want to continue, bringing people content.
You got your plate, right? You got your own plate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the water to come back.
Is it bubbling there, Rosie, in that pan?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the water to come back to a boil.
Okay, cool. Can you just check that pan out real quick? Is there a bubble?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to drop the noodles.
Yeah. We started at about 8:07. Now it's 7:52, so another 15-20 minutes will be done. So I've brought people, I've revolutionized the channel. And I hope we continue to bring domestic travel and international travel. We've been to Mexico, we've been to Canada, we might go to Europe next, we might go to Asia next. Anything is a real possibility.
Hush it up.
You know? And we're bringing a variety of content. You know, we're bringing a variety of content. I know this van build isn't for everyone, and some people might think it's boring. To me, I'm having a time of my life because I'm remodeling my home. To me, it's not boring. I know what a lot of people probably is. But you know something that had to be done. But now we're moving into a new direction. So my motto is out with the old and in with the new. Let's bring in new content. Let's go to places that we've never been before. Let's experience things we've never experienced before. You know? Let's eat new things. Let's see new things. Let's meet new people. It's all about new, being new and fresh. That's how you become relevant on YouTube. You bring new content. You do different things. I know we've been repetitive with this van build, but we had to get it done. But that's how you become relevant on YouTube, stay relevant. Not about talking about other people, but bringing quality content. Doing things you've never done before, seeing things you've never seen before. You know what I'm saying? I never cooked beef stroganoff. I haven't cooked dolmite in 8 years. I've never cooked the jambalaya out of a scratch. It's all about experimentation. Life is about trial and error. We try things. Some things work, some things don't work. Then we get better at things once we practice. Once I made some other pork chops, the first time they came out better the second time. So you experiment with cooking, you experiment with traveling, you experiment with relationships. And the older you get, the more wise you get, the better you get. That's what life is all about, our experiences. Learning from our mistakes, trial and error. We try different things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we try something, it doesn't come out good the first time, it comes out better the second time. That could be the same mindset with cooking, with a relationship, with travel, whatever. Practice makes perfect. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to say there's a lot of women in this world that will share their love in Mexico and a lot of other countries. There's a lot of loving women out there. And that's why I love Mexico. A lot of women are willing to love men and make them feel at home. And that's what's wonderful about the Mexican culture. They're a warm people. They have a soul, they have a feeling, they have love in their hearts. And that's why I love Mexico.
All right, I just dropped the noodles.
How long you gotta be in there?
8 to 9 minutes.
8 to 9 minutes? And you just take them off and drain them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm staying on top of that.
Okay. I'm gonna go take a look at my stroganoff real quick. Let's see. Right now we're about, it is 7:57.
Just dropped the noodles, guys. Just dropped the old noodles.
This is nice and bubbling away here. Nice and bubbling away. Yep. Beautiful. Nice fire. Hope this meat comes out tender here. It wasn't bubbling in the beginning, but you know, might need a little bit extra time here. If you want, you could go an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. It ain't gonna hurt it. I think it's gonna be a good meal. Hopefully that meat's gonna be tender. So bottom line is, it's all about experience in life. Variety. Variety is the spice of life, man. You know? Wow. Ain't too cold tonight, ain't raining, ain't that windy, real pleasant night. And it's going to be a great night. Hopefully in an hour's time that meat there is broken down and got tender. That's what I'm hoping. The flavor's going to be good, I know, but I'm just hoping that the meat's going to be tender. soaking up the flames here. Oh man.
Just about 4 more minutes.
All right.
I gotta get them just right.
See a bubble on here. It's bubbling. All right.
Make sure you get your plate in there.
Bubbling away nicely. Add a nice simmer to it. Nice simmer. And that's what we want to see. Yeah. Nice simmer to that meat. Ah, man. Let's see what we got here. 56 people watching. We're at, what time is it now? It's 8:03. p.m. Not about that hour mark. Show people the Stroganoff here. I'll get my sour cream. And I'll get my chives. My sour cream and chives ready here.
All right.
Got the pasta.
Here you go, chef.
Okay.
I don't know if I should put it right on the table.
Well, I have to put the pasta first and put this on top of the pasta. So.
I know. I hope it doesn't burn the table.
Okay. Well, you want to put it on top of this plate?
No, just put this piece of wood on top.
Put it right. Egg noodles look pretty good.
Got my fork.
Yeah, all I've got to do is just add a little bit of sour cream to that, and then
I think it's in the. You have it, or
I've got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just add sour cream and chive, and you can put your salt and pepper. I didn't over pepper or over salt, so you
I
can put
just
your
probably
salt.
like it straight up.
You can put your salt and pepper to taste.
Okay.
I just like I said,
All right,
it's
cool.
I don't like over salt and pepper and things. So
Yeah, I had to get the egg noodles cooked, so I think that they're turned out pretty good.
that's the thing with pasta. That's another thing you don't want to overcook pasta. So
No, I'm good at cooking pasta.
yeah, I'll just put a little bit of sour cream in there, not that much, just a little bit, and then if you wanted to garnish with more sour cream, then you can. And I'll throw the chives in here. So hopefully this hour got the meat tender.
Yep.
That was a tough.
I hope so.
Pretty tough cut of meat.
Looking good.
Yep. That's a pretty tough cut of meat where you need some time.
Thank you.
The Return of the
Cody.
Jedi.
The Return of the Jedi. Now in theaters near you. I'd be nothing. Hey, how you doing, Hope? Well, I'm looking forward to eating. No, we went to the lumber yard, Northerner. It's mainly 2x4s, 2x2s, 1x1s, and some sheet goods. Yeah, I feel okay, Dina. Hold on. I'm just waiting for Marshall to declare that the sauce and everything's ready.
Well, to me, this recipe, the way that you know it's ready is the beef has to be tender, and if it's not tender, it's not ready.
Did you try it?
No, I didn't try it. I can try it.
It might already be tender.
Or not. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's my first time cooking it. The recipe says 1 hour. Right now we're at about an hour, so I can try one piece and see if it's tender, and I'll tell you. I guess cooking times vary, but it says 1 hour, and I can try it
Lavender.
and see what we think. Let me get my camera, because to me that's when you know that the beef is done. It has to be fall off the bone tender, so that's how you know that this is done. So let's pull it down. Now we'll find out. Let's see. And you can taste it and tell me. Here's after 1 hour. What happened to my wooden spatula? Did you take it?
I'd take it to cook the pasta.
I need it. I don't know why you took it.
I don't think I took yours.
The wooden spatula?
Yeah,
Hold
maybe
on.
you took it into the Rancho.
Let me see. Maybe I did. Let me see. Oh, the meat still is pretty tough. Let me see here. Very tough. pretty tough. Sauce is okay, but the meats, maybe it's a bad fatty cut I got. Let me try another one here.
Feed me, come on and feed me. Come on and feed me like you do. I'm so in love with you. Boo 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 boo. Mama's got a squeeze box. Daddy never sleeps at night. Do do do.
The amount of sauce and water is just right.
Well, the kids can't sleep, and the dog is in the whole room. We be playing all night.
But to me, it's not tender enough. It's okay.
Mama's got a squeeze box. Daddy never sleeps at night.
The consistency of the sauce is great. It's just the right thickness.
No, I didn't look for it yet, Brooke. It slips my mind. I've been so busy trying to get decent quality on the streams. It's been a nightmare.
It has some fatty pieces in there, so.
Come on and come on and feed me like you do. I'm so in love with you. Boo boo boo. It's like Aunt Edna says, am I going to eat or am I going to starve to death?
You want to try a piece, Rosen?
Yeah. I'm going to start gnawing my hand off.
All right, dig it. Is it done or needs more cooking?
I don't know if any more cooking now. Tenderizing, I don't know.
I don't know. Up to you. Some pieces are fatty because there's fat in there, and some pieces are lean, so they're not all the same because there's pieces of fat.
Got your serving spoon? Probably need a spoon for the sauce, so I'm going to get.
Yep. Some pieces have fat in there, and some pieces don't. I left it in there for the flavor. But see how that looks. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some sour cream in here because you got to add sour cream. And we'll stir it in. Let me add the sour cream. Hold on. I've got to add the sour cream here. It's good to get it a little bit creamy. So let me. I don't need that right now. I got to add this in. Gives the stroganoff that creaminess. You got to add a little bit of sour cream.
Oh, damn, didn't I just bring my drink in?
I'll add the chive. Sour cream. If somebody wants to add extra sour cream, they can. That's what gives it that nice, changes the color from a dark brown to like a light brown. And that's it. That beef stroganoff. Now I'm going to serve up. I'm going to take this up a little bit. Just make sure it's hot. I want to serve it nice and hot. Bring that up to a bubble a little bit. And I'm going to serve up Rosie's pasta.
Yeah, give it to
Is this
Jen.
your plate, Rosie?
Yeah, for Jen.
For Jen, okay.
I brought 2 plates out, one for her and one for me.
This is not a lot of pasta here.
Well, we just bought a bag.
I've got more penne in there, but...
Hi, Craig. I feel okay.
Is that too much for her? Okay. Do you have a plastic one? Because if I put this in there, I'm going to scrape my pen. I'm going to scrape my pen. You don't? Okay. That's it?
Yep.
No sauce? Okay. All right.
Looks good.
Ready for your plate, Rogan?
Yeah, just
Okay. Just a little bit. Turn it nice and hot. Actually, this is came up. You got your plate, Rosie?
I brought one out for me and one for her.
Oh, okay. How many scoops of pasta you want?
I don't know, just like Jan had, I guess.
A lot of salt, but not too much pasta. You need at least.
I'm hungry. I haven't eaten anything. Thank you, Marshall.
Do some sauce?
This would be good. Yeah, the sauce is great.
There you go.
Thank you.
Sour cream, extra sour cream is here if you want
Well, I'm
some.
going to try this first and see if I need some
Okay.
extra on it. Thank you.
All right.
Looks good.
Now I'm going to blink mine up.
Some of the meat's probably a little gristly. He's right, he didn't over salt it, which is good. Then I can control that myself.
See, some of the pieces I left the fat in here because there's flavor. Some of them are going to be tender because there's no
Yes.
fat. I left some of them with the fat. That's why they're chewy. There's no way you're going to burn. You're going to get the fat to be tender. Absolutely no way. That's for the flavor. So
Yeah, it looks pretty good, PJ, doesn't it? I mean, it sure looks like beef stroganoff. It's going to certainly fill me up. But you can see some of the meat's a little blubbery.
because there's fat in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I left the fat in there because of the flavor. You can take the fat off if you want. Actually, the meat that's in there that has no fat, it's tender. That's not meat, it's fat. And I left it in there because it gives flavor.
Will serve
So if
yourself up.
So if you don't want to eat the fat, all you have to do is get a fork and knife and cut the
No,
fat
it's
off and
fine.
completely not eat it.
It's fine. I said there was just
Now, how's the beef cooked?
good,
It's tender?
good.
Okay, so there's fat in there. I left the fat in there to give it flavor. But if you cut all the fat out, then
Yeah,
you're not going to
I
get
get it.
you're
I
not
get
going to
it.
get the same
I
flavor. So
understand.
you don't have to eat the fat. That's like a steak. You cut the fat off and you don't have to eat the fat. There's no way.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can make
it's-
the fat to
it's,
be tender. I think
yeah.
the beef came out great.
I got it. I think the beef is good.
Yeah. And you can put your own salt and pepper. I think the beef is fine. I just tasted it was fine.
I
So-
think it's a very good.
But when you
It's a
say
good
when you say
rendition.
rubbery blubbery, yes, the
No,
fat
I had
is,
one
but not
piece
the
that
meat.
had a piece of blubber hanging on it.
It's the fat, so you don't have to
It
eat
looked
that.
like a piece of ball sack.
The chuck has marbling in there. It's a fatty piece of meat.
I understand
So
that.
if you take the fat out and you don't put it in there, it's not going to flavor the broth.
Right.
So you don't have to eat that. You can just cut that off and not eat that. But I wanted to leave it in there because it
Good.
gives it flavor. That's what
Good
it is.
job.
I think the beef is tender.
Yeah. For a chuck roast, I think it's pretty good.
I'm gonna see what Mr. Jen thinks about it. This is a Russian dish, I think. There it is. I thought too that it was not tender, but that's because I want to leave the fat in there for the dish. That looks great.
It's good. It does look like
Yeah.
it does look like a beef stroganoff. It's just that one piece was like a ball sack,
Let's see.
you know, like something they served on a ball sack sub to me one time.
I want to ask you how she likes it. I'm gonna ask you-
Either that or he served esophagus or something. But it's a good effort. I don't think anybody would complain if they came over to dinner. You might not want them to look in the kitchen, but believe me, there's a lot of horrifying stuff in kitchens around America. Ball sack sub. It's good. I'm not going to say it's lousy. It's good. It's just my first piece. I had like the ball sack. It was.
Yeah, I just got Jen's review. She said it's not supposed to be too salty, too spicy. It's just the right, the flavor is in the beef itself. That's what it speaks for it.
Well, there you go.
So
Plate yourself up some.
I'm gonna plate myself up some. This is Rosie's here.
Yep.
I think
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I think what I would do to me, I like to jazz things up. I think I put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in there. I would probably put a little bit of I'll probably put a little bit more I would say I don't know what else I would add. Probably Worcestershire sauce. I would want a smoky element to it. But I think it came out great.
Nice egg noodles.
I think the gravy is just the right consistency. I think that the beef is tender. The gravy is the right consistency. It's not overspiced. You can put as much hot sauce or salt and pepper you want in there.
Egg noodle perfectly cooked.
Yeah. So I think it came out great.
Enjoy.
Now I'm gonna plate mine up.
There are chives in here.
Now we try to
He did add the chives in. I'm seeing on my plate. Yeah, here's like another piece of ball sack or something on that.
When you clarify and say there's something chewy in there, that when you cook a lamb, when there's Middle Eastern cooking, there's always cooking done with lamb fat, biryani, stews, and they do that so you can eat so it'll flavor the meat. Now, if you would have left that in there for 3 hours, that fat would have been it would have melted down. It needs time to melt down.
I think it was like ball sack gristle or something. But
Right. Well, some of the meat has gristle and fat in there. I wanted to get as much flavor as I could, and then if you want, you can dissect that yourself, and then that flavors the broth.
I'm enjoying it.
But the beef itself is tender. The beef itself is tender, right?
Yeah.
It's not chewy.
Most of the beef is tender, but like you said, you put all the cut in, so once in a while you're going to get a gristle.
You're going to get a gristle, and that's not
it's
my
okay.
fault with cooking. That's just the cut of the meat,
Yeah.
basically. You cook it for 1 hour. There's no way to. That's just it's a chuck roast.
There you go, Judy. Just spit the ball sack out and keep eating.
Chuck roast has gristle and fat in there. You're not eating filet mignon. She's talking like, I'm going to eat filet mignon here. You're eating chuck roast.
Yeah.
Chuck roast
but
has gristle and fat in there.
But I appreciate that you bought the meat that the recipe called for.
Right. And
You
that's what I
didn't
said.
just default and say, hey, let's get
So-
a New York, let's get a sirloin
If you
and
get-
just cut it up.
Well, sirloin
Okay.
doesn't have enough fat.
Right.
So say if you made this with ribeye, the fat on the ribeye is so it's so. In other words, you could even eat it. So it's like it's. So it's your choice. If you want to cut the meat and completely cut the gristle and fat off,
There you, go,
can make
Red
it with
Solo.
you
Well,
can just make it with
I mean,
straight beef and no fat. There'd be no
one
flavor.
time I had a ball sack sub. I wanted to sue him.
Well, that's because of the cut of the meat. That's what it is.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying a Subway ball sack sub.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I wanted to call my lawyer. Make sure they weren't serving some kind of esophagus or something. Ah.
Of course, you've got you're not eating filet mignon. Where
What's
it's gonna
up,
be
JK?
just meat and tender, and you know, you're eating a chuck.
It's a
roast.
chuck roast, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna pour some of this here.
Thank you, Red Solo Cup. Floss the ball sack away. There's not a lot of salt in it, JK. I actually added some of my own, so I appreciate that Marshall did not. We used low sodium
You could
beef
add your
broth.
own and not
Yeah,
have
so
to
it's
worry
good.
about-
I think it's a
I'm
very
gonna add my
admirable
own
job.
Salt and pepper in here. Wow.
I didn't
Add a
mean
little
to
salt and pepper.
kill you guys about the ball sack.
Great.
Ball sack stroganoff.
I wanted to get as
Good.
much fat in there as I could. I don't want to cut one piece of the meat off because I want the flavor in the broth.
Shout out to Denise. You know, you guys go into Subway sometimes. What they're slicing up there, it's got to be ball sack or something. It's all chewy and rubbery.
If you would have cut the fat off,
It like-
you wouldn't get the same kind of.
It's like an accordion. It just pulls out. You know, it's like some kind of esophagus or something like that that they throw in there.
Great. Now,
Ah,
I'm gonna show you guys. Hey,
it
guys,
does look good,
hungry.
Janie. It's a very good. It's a good stroganoff here tonight.
I think it's the best stroganoff I've had. I've had frozen stroganoff, frozen dinners. I've never had it this good. Let's see.
I better cut a ball sack.
Put this here.
The way the guy at the meat counter was fondling that ball sack, you could tell it like made his quota
I
for
think
the
the
day to
gravy
get
is
rid
the
of that.
right consistency.
I'm gonna blast this with the heat a little bit for a minute. I'll be right back, guys.
There it is.
I think the sour cream added a little something too.
Yeah. So there it is. Beef stroganoff. There it is, guys. Beef stroganoff. There we go. Yeah. Good. Nice egg noodles. Nice and creamy. No, that's good. What a chef I am, huh?
I'm not sure if I'm not sure if cooking in another couple hours would have really tenderized it or not. Because this cut of meat may not ever go tender. You know, it's like a ball sack cut. You know, it's a real tough. It's like the low end cut of the meat, right? So it's probably the toughest to work with to ever get tender.
Yeah, I mean it's still good.
Yeah. Yeah, and you used the meat that they told you to use too, so that was good. Yeah, part of
There's
esophagus.
parts of the meat that are tough, but that's just the way the meat is. I can't do nothing about that. That's just, if you use imagine if you use prime rib for this. I thought it'd be more tender, but there are parts of it that are tender. Depends on which slice you get.
What do you think? Yeah, well, I think parts of it were like a ball sack or something. I don't know what you could do to really tenderize a chuck cut of meat. I don't know. You're welcome, Red Solo. But like Marshall said, if you go for a sirloin or something, you get no fat in it. You don't get any flavor off of the meat.
Yeah. If you go with a, you know, with that.
The guy was fondling the meat. Like it was trying to pawn off the top one and it sat there all day or something, you know.
But what makes this good is it does flavor the sauce because it has a lot of fat and there's a lot of good flavor in the sauce. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just curious. I don't know if Mouse Toes is in here or anybody. Yep. What you would do to really make it super tender? I mean, well, the guy was fondling the meat behind. You know, oh, this is.
You could put it in meat tenderizer in water for like overnight. We could get meat tenderizer, and you could put it in water and meat tenderizer and soak it overnight, and then that would break the proteins down.
Oh, okay, Matt from Houston.
But the meat tenderizer has a lot of salt in there, so this is not salty, dude.
No, I actually added a little bit of salt to it,
Yeah,
so it's
there
good.
are parts of it that are tender depending on which.
There are. It's just that I think my luck, I just hit the piece of ball sack. Like there's. Thank you, Chris. There's a.
Here have my last $5. Woo, time to go ham and egg it like the rest of the peasants' lols.
Thank
How is the
you,
flavor
Chris.
of the sauce,
Thank you
Rosie?
very much. It's got that like gelatinous thing hanging.
How is the flavor of the sauce?
Good. The flavor of the sauce is good.
I think it's pretty good. I mean, I don't mind.
TNR said or use a pressure cooker tenderizes any tough cut meat.
But there's parts of it that are tender, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it just depends which piece of meat did you
Which
pick
piece?
up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think the egg noodles go great with it too, huh?
Yep.
I think it's a pretty good dish. I like it. I think if you get a
Sorry, Mouse Toes. Thank you, John.
All that sack is whack.
All that sack. I'm just going to pass on that one piece there, but otherwise, you know, it was quite a good effort on the Stroganoff tonight.
well, as far as tenderizing the meat,
Yeah,
The
there's
only
nothing
way
you
you can
can
do it is you'd
there-
have to put it. You'd have to have a marinating, or brining, or tenderizing overnight. There's nothing that you can do as far as cooking it.
Jen needs to come out and give it another 10, huh? No, I would give this an 8. I just think the guy could have. I think the guy kind of chumped this on the piece of meat. He showed us a nice one, and then he went back and he cut something else, and then he wrapped it up. So I never know. That's what I think happened. This guy showed us the one in a case. Then he put it in a scale. He's like, "Oh, that's too big." Then he put it back, and then he grabbed something else, and he went to the back and he cut it, and then he put it out on the thing.
Well, you pick which meat you want there. You can
No,
put
I'm
whatever one
just
you want.
saying.
Yeah.
I think the guy served up some esophageal ball sack or something. But as far as the sauces and flavor, I think it was on point. The noodles were good. It was all good.
I think that's all I could do is cook it the way it said. So. That's all you can do, guys. Cook it the way it was meant. That's it. Left the fat in there. Good eating, man. Oh, man. Oh.
Marshall, I wonder what made him specify chuck roast,
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think that's unusual, or?
I don't know. I don't know what they use for this. I'm not sure.
Well, the recipe you were using called for the chuck roast.
Yeah, that's what it called for, yeah.
I was curious as to why they would specify that.
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know, Rosie.
sauce was good. Mushrooms were good. The gravy was good. The sauce. I had to get my dental floss. That darn gristle got down in my.
Yeah, it wasn't like I said. I don't know.
I don't think I would have just chopped it all up. I think I would have probably cut away some of the gristle and
Some
stuff.
of the gristle. Well, I mean,
But it's
even if you
okay,
would have.
Marshall.
Yeah, even if you cut away some of the gristle, it wouldn't have. The beef was tender, right? The lean beef was tender, right? But I left the gristle
Yeah.
and fat in there because
Well,
that
gristle doesn't render flavor.
that doesn't render, yeah. But
But,
I don't know. I'm not a butcher
Did
where
I
I can.
enjoy eating it? Yes, I did.
I'm not a butcher where I'm an expert to know how to cut
Marshall,
the
we
gristle.
gotta be able to critique each other's stuff without going off the deep end.
No. I understand. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
it
that
wasn't-
I left the fat in there because I wanted flavor. But I wasn't thinking I'm going to sit here and I'm going to micro.
It was just that. It wasn't that there was gristle that was left in there too.
Right now,
Yeah.
I wasn't microanalyzing and say, you know what, I've got to cut this piece for Rosie and get all the gristle out, and somehow manage to keep the fat on too. I was thinking, let me chop this up, let me think flavor, and if you want to separate that, you can
It's fine.
get a knife and fork and separate it
That's
yourself.
fine.
Now, when you talk about butchering the meat, by the gristle you have the fat. So if you cut the gristle off, that means it would be, I would have to sit there like micromanage this piece of meat. I would have to cut the meat up.
Well, that's the way
And
I
then-
do it. I
and-
carefully.
Now, if you want that, ask the butcher. Say, look, I want you to cut this up for me. I just want the fat and the meat, and get the gristle out. But to do that, like I wasn't thinking, you know what, I've got to sit and micromanage this piece of meat here, and
Well,
cut that out.
That was good.
I mean-
that was the only thing. I think you agree.
Yeah, the
And
gristle.
Everything else was on point.
Right.
You know?
Now, if I was going to do that, in other words, I'd have to sit there
Marshall,
and
we're not rest- we're not-
analyze.
We're not chefs. I mean, you
Right.
did a good job tonight with it. Okay.
Right. And if you just have straight beef in there, then you have no flavor from the fat. It
Like
would be
the
dry.
Fat, I don't. The fat is fine.
Right.
I'm just saying.
But you're telling me that and I understand where you're coming from. The gristle has to be cut out.
Yeah.
Well, the fat is not eatable either.
No, but I'm saying.
So
Chuck roast has veins of gristle that run through it. You
Right.
got to remove. You got to cut away from.
yeah,
it.
and the fat is not eatable too. So if you have that type of mindset and you say, you know what, I got to sit down and look at this meat, and I got to cut the fat and gristle off because you don't want to have gristle.
Well,
if you
it's
do
hard
that,
to-
then you have no fat
It's
flavor
hard-
in the
it's hard when it's in sauce when you pick up a piece of meat. You don't really know what.
you don't really So
Like,
that's what I'm saying. You could get a piece of sirloin that has no fat on there at all, cut it up and fry it up, and have no, and then but you're not going to get the same depth of flavor in the sauce. You're not going to get the. And I understand what you're saying,
that's fine.
but I wanted to get the fat flavor. I was willing even to say, you know what, let me leave it in there and see because I want the fat flavor.
If
That's
that
what I
was
want.
okay. You know.
But if you want
But
to,
I'm saying the sauce was good. It rendered down
you
to
can
the
get an eye
right.
of round, but it's not going to have the same depth of flavor in the gravy. Of the sauce. So I think the fat gives it flavor. The fat gives the meat flavor. So you can get it. You can get you a sirloin. You can get you an eye of round, completely just all meat, and cut it up, and then have no fat in your gravy. You're not going to get the same flavor. It's like saying, let me eat when you eat prime rib. You've got gristle and fat in there. You've got to cut it out of the
I
way.
wasn't arguing with the fat.
Yeah, I'm just
I
saying.
was saying the strips of gristle. That's all.
Well, then what? In other words, how
In
am I?
other words, I take that chuck, and the first thing I do is knife on both sides of that gristle.
Right.
Now there's still fat. I
There's still
believe
fat in there that you can't eat, even if you take the gristle out. What are you going to do about the fat then?
The
What would
fat's
you?
Fine. The fat adds flavor. I'm just saying.
You're not going to eat
The
the
only
fat
thing I
anyway.
would have done different is just take the gristle.
Take the gristle out.
But other than that,
Okay.
it was a totally on point stroganoff, and I think that's a pretty good.
Now, what
thing.
about the fat? Would you take the fat out?
No, I wouldn't take.
You wouldn't take the fat out,
I
okay.
wouldn't take the fat
So,
out.
I mean, that's. How do you know where the gristle is at?
You can tell a gristle when you look at a piece of meat.
Oh, when you
what's
look at a
gristle
piece of
and
meat,
what's
okay.
fat.
So, if you cut the gristle off, then what
I mean,
happens to the
Chuck-
fat?
Chuck
Let me
is-
ask you this though.
Chuck
If you,
is notorious for having a couple gristle lines. in
Okay,
it
so
because
if you cut
that's
the
what
gristle-
makes it a cheap cut. They can't serve.
they
that
can't
in a
serve as that.
restaurant. Yeah.
But I'm saying, if you cut the gristle out, what happens to the fat? If you
Well,
cut
not
it
all
up.
fat is next to the gristle. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
saying. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's.
But I'm just saying, if you were to redo,
I wasn't thinking in my mind, you know what? I'm going to microanalyze this piece of meat, and I'm going to do, because I was thinking, you know, let
look,
me
the recipe didn't tell you to remove all the, you know, to.
No, I mean, but if you want,
In other words, the recipe didn't tell you to polish your meat.
when you have a prime rib, there's gristle and fat in there. They don't remove it and just serve you the leg. Now with a stroganoff,
Thank you.
Marshall, shut up, you don't know how to cook.
I get what you're. I've had biryani too, where there's gristle
Thank
and fat
you,
in there.
Cajun Kev.
And I've complained about it. I'm like, why do they serve this in biryani? But now I understand. Because it adds flavor, and then they want you to separate it later. So it's like it's, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
it's...
Do I think you made a good dish? Yeah. Did
Yeah,
I
I mean-
enjoy eating it? I ate every bit of it. Okay.
Right, I mean, it's...
Now, that's the bottom line. Now
Right.
you can take it up from there and
No,
get
no.
to the top line.
the cut, the cut of the meat.
They told you to use the chuck, so you
Yeah,
use the chuck.
exactly. They never said, the guy never said, well, this is what you cut off. I'm not a butcher where I know how to cut.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to cut it off.
I'm not saying you did something. I'm just saying there's a cut of meat.
And it's, but I just know that fat adds flavor. But you can make it, I don't know if you had a sirloin, and like I said, even if you cut the gristle out, even if you put the fat in there, you can't eat the fat. You've got to separate. You've got to separate that. So
Yeah.
then, what do you know? That's the problem.
Well,
it's
let
cooked
me
in the
ask you
sauce,
this.
in other words, after it's cooked in the sauce, how can the chef pick out the fat for you?
Well, let me ask you this.
Even if I did that, even if I cut
Let
the
me ask
gristle
you
off.
this.
So
If you had to redo it from the beginning, knowing what you know now, what would you do? Would you do anything different? Or
Even
would
if I would have cut the gristle off, okay, I can cut the gristle off, right? You put the fat in there and you fry it with the gravy. How is the chef going to know which piece is the fat and which piece is the gravy? It's impossible. It's covered in gravy.
I don't know, Marshall. I'm just saying
But,
that
okay, how would you cook it? Tell me, how would you cook it?
I would put the meat down,
Okay.
and I would take a knife, and I would go along the gristle, both sides of the gristle line, and throw that for the rats in the hood here.
Okay.
That's the only thing I would have
And
done
what about
different.
the fat?
That's the only thing. I would have left the fat in and everything else in there.
Okay. You would have left the fat in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only thing.
And
That's the only
That's the
thing I
only
would
thing.
have done different on that dish.
Right.
And I think
why did you tell the butcher to cut the gristle out?
I guess I assumed that you would cut out the gristle when you made it. I didn't know.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, I
So-
don't know. But
So you assumed I was going to cut it out,
well, I
or I
assumed-
would know, or I would.
Yeah, you would know where to just cut those lines along that. But
Okay.
that's all.
And
No harm, no foul.
no harm, no foul. But when you get a piece of prime rib, don't you have to cut the gristle out yourself?
Yeah, there's a lot of prime rib I don't eat. A lot of the fat.
That,
a lot
that
of
you
the
have
stuff.
to, right? Is that?
Yeah.
No, me too. I don't like the gristle in there, but I wasn't thinking to myself, you know what? I'm going to have to sit here and
Yeah, it's
microanalyze this and cut. You know what I'm saying? Because I was afraid if I cut the gristle out that I'd be losing flavor in the fat. I'm like, let me get as much flavor in there as I can, and whatever's not edible, then whatever's going to be separated, it can be separated in the end.
Well, it's hard to see it in sauce.
It's hard to see it in the
Yeah.
sauce. Yeah, it's hard to see it in the sauce, so you don't know what you're getting. But
But
I mean,
the stuff that wasn't gristle, it
right.
wasn't ball sack, was very tender.
fine,
It
was
was
it?
good. It was
Was
very
it?
good.
So I
The
mean,
mushrooms, good addition. A little bit of chives. The delicacy, adding the sour cream.
what
and
about when you make pot roast or roast beef? Do you cut the gristle out?
Oh yeah.
You do?
Yep, always.
You always.
Every time. Yeah.
So you're saying that if you make me roast beef, then every cut that I eat is going to be meat. There's not going to be no
Right.
gristle or fat. Everything.
yeah. 'Cause the
Well, then why
gristle-
didn't you cut the gristle out then?
I didn't know. I'm not cooking today.
Oh, okay. You thought I was going to cut the gristle out.
It would just been my nature to just have sat it down, looked at it, and said, "Well, I'm going to have
Oh,
to get
okay.
rid of the gristle."
I didn't know that you were
'Cause it's
so
got
anal
like-
about the gristle.
I'm
Like,
not. I'm not. I'm critiquing the
Oh,
dish.
okay,
That's
all right.
all. I'm not anal about it.
I understand. I mean, I wasn't. To me, I'm like, let me cut this up. I want to get maximum flavor. I wasn't thinking, let me sit here and microanalyze this and really cut this down. But I get what you're saying. I don't want gristle in my food. But like I said, even if you were to cut the gristle out, you still haven't solved the problem with the fat. You still can't eat the fat. You still got pieces of fat in the gravy. And when you bite into the beef, you don't know you're going to get a piece of fat or you're going to get a piece of beef. So you'd have to spit the fat out. In other words, if you want to make it complete lean, cut it all off and just have straight beef. But
let me ask, we've got a lot of people that do a lot of cooking here on the side chat. Let me just ask them if you were going to make this. And Marshall followed the cut of meat that they suggested. Would you have used the chuck, or would you have used another cut of beef to make that?
No, that's a fair thing.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Cajun Kev. It came right out. Ding, 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 ding. Mouse Toe says thin slice it.
It doesn't. You can't. There's no way.
Julie
it
Army.
doesn't matter which way you slice it. There's no way to tenderize fat and gristle. Fat burns off and cooks off, and gristle doesn't. Gristle's gristle.
Some people say chuck is fine. Some people are saying sirloin, at least well trimmed and sliced in. There's a lot of different opinions. I use beef sirloin. Charles says sirloin for me. Yeah, I don't think the homeless are going to show up at beef tenderloin.
No way.
Fundy
Beef tenderloin for this dish?
Fundy said chuck is not for stroganoff. Well, I have to say one thing. He followed the recipe as written. So
yeah, I wouldn't use beef tenderloin for this. Beef tenderloin, an expensive cut of meat. That's like for a grilling, right? Would you use beef tenderloin for this?
Isn't that like a roast beef? Is a tenderloin? Isn't that?
I thought that's filet mignon, isn't it?
No, filet mignon is the small side of the T-bone.
Okay.
There, the big side is the.
So what do they cook beef tenderloin with? What is that? What kind of dish is that? What dish?
Roast beef, I believe.
Roast beef.
Yeah.
It's not beef tenderloin.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. Geneva Kelly said chuck is for stew. Tenderloin makes it rich, super tender, cooks in 20 minutes. Well, we didn't know that tonight. You know, the recipe said like, what did it say? Chuck, 2 pounds of chuck.
It said chuck. Yeah, I mean, it's. Yeah. I think that the chuck.
So if I tell you,
yeah,
I like the flavor.
Right.
And the only thing I would have done different is just to address the gristle lines.
Right.
You have to say that's a good critique. You know,
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm just saying that because you left it in there.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there's
opinion,
different ways of cooking it. If you cut the gristle off, like I said, you still have fat to deal with. So
well, fat's okay.
Fat, but you can't eat it.
Identify fat.
You can identify
gristle,
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's
gristle is a more fibrous, material. It's more stringy and tough type material.
Right.
And no matter how long you cook a gristle,
it doesn't matter.
It's
fat burns off. Yeah. There's nothing that you can do yeah, anytime that Rosie, if Rosie ever cooks anything with beef, I would like to see
my beef stew.
Yeah.
I went over every piece of that meat that was in the package, and I cut out anything that looked like a gristle.
Right?
Because I didn't want people to chew it and then have to kind of spit out
the gristle, right?
Now that took 15 minutes.
15 minutes to do that. Why don't you just ask the butcher to do it?
I'm not sure if a butcher will do all that.
But take the time
these
to do
days.
that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If you go to a custom butcher shop, I think they'll give you
whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Yep.
Yeah.
They'll charge you an extra $2 a pound to just cover
it, yeah. No, yeah, when you made your beef stew, there was a little bit of fat in there.
Yeah, Catcher on the Rise said thin slice is the trick.
Chuck is a roasting meat. It's like a pot roast meat, basically, right?
Yeah. Chuck is a pot roast meat.
It's a pot roast
and
meat.
then you'll cut it away from the gristle. You'll slice it up and then serve it, and then
I don't think that this chuck roast is a tender and
it's a lousy cut of meat. It's an economy cut of meat.
Right. I don't think
it has to be, and because it's an economy cut of meat, it has to be handled differently than say.
Right.
It
has to be roasted for 8 hours to get it to be fall off the bone. Some of it was bone in. It's like a pot roast meat.
I know, Sue, but we're not in a position to evaluate which recipe you got to.
Can you tell them whose recipe? I'm using Chef John Food Wishes on YouTube.
Okay.
This is his recipe. He called for the exact same stuff, exact same thing. But it's to me, it's not. You have to cook this for 8 hours to get it to be. It was okay, but it's too. It was okay, but I'll probably use. I don't know what meat you would use. People don't really cook this dish that much. It's not a.
It's not an everyday.
It's not an everyday kind of dish.
Except for hamburger helper, beef stroganoff.
Right, right. I think that with the sauce I made though, that would be good for a Salisbury steak.
It's good.
If you made a Salisbury steak and you kind of made that same kind of sauce, but I would add Worcestershire sauce because it would give it a smoky flavor. I'd add Worcestershire. But that's what it is.
That would be a good addition, I think, to that.
But, when I was looking at the meat, I'm like, look, there's a lot of fat in it. I'm like, okay, this thing is marble. I'm like, this thing is marble, this thing has fat. But at the same time, I saw it was tough. And I'm thinking to myself, how is this going to cook in a stroganoff in 1 hour?
Right.
And the straight beef was fine, so,
Yeah, the straight beef was good.
So, I was thinking to myself, should I cut it all off completely? That's what I thought. Should I cut off the fat completely and just have the meat in there? Or should I put it all in? And I'm like, you know what? I want to see what it's going to taste like with all the fat in there. I'm like, I'm not going to mess around with it. You know what I'm saying?
Cobra John, you can see me doing the RV work every single day on here. All right.
But
and my morning things and everything else.
But yeah, I mean, that's, it is what it is. I still think that the meat came out good. The sauce came out good.
Yeah.
I didn't get the caramelization of fawn again that I want because this is just not giving me enough heat. It's impossible to do it on this thing. So I have to get my Coleman going to get a fawn or a caramelization at the bottom. But what do you think? What meat would be good with this? Say if it was sirloin, what meat would be better for this recipe for a 1 hour?
I'm not in a position to answer that because I've never made it before. I'm not sure. They said maybe thin slicing, just maybe remove the gristle lines and then thin slice
now,
it.
How long did you cook your pot roast? How many hours? Do you remember? Your beef stew.
I only brought it up to a boil, then pushed it back on the stove to continue slow.
For how long?
For no time. I turned the heat off.
Oh, you turned the heat off?
Yeah. And
you didn't simmer it?
Didn't simmer it at all. So all the vegetables stayed good, and they didn't get all mushy in the stew.
So it wasn't like a pot roast.
It slowly goes down in temperature, and then you bring it back up to temperature to a boil again when you're going to eat it.
What kind of cut of meat did you use? You remember for the pot roast?
I used beef stew meat.
So beef stew meat would be better for this then, right? Would it be more tender?
Yeah, probably beef stew meat would have been a good choice for this. Now that I come to think about it.
Yeah, because that was more tender.
Because I took time to just clean up a couple of the gristle lines and things. Because most butchers, like commercial places, they're going to put the lousiest looking stuff on the bottom, and they're going to pack the good looking stuff on top.
So the beef stew meat that you used, I think it'd be better for this. I think
ground beef.
It would be the beef stew meat. I think it was much more tender. Now, what is the beef stew? What cut does that come from? It's not chuck, right? It's a different cut of the beef.
Beef stew is trimmed chuck roast. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Oh, it's
trimmed. They take out the gristle line and then just do the rest.
And just do the rest, okay.
So there's not a ton of fat, but it's good. It's still got some chew to it. You can tell it's not like a fillet cut.
But it is from the chuck?
Yeah.
So it's the same cut of meat that I did today?
Yeah.
But they completely take off the fat?
Yeah. Not the fat. They take out that gristle.
The gristle, okay.
So it takes me about 15-20 minutes to trim
cut-
up
to trim
2
up.
pounds of beef stew meat.
Okay.
Because I look at every piece, I'm like, oh man, I don't want that thing
I
in
don't
there.
want
You
that
know, I don't
thing
want
in
somebody to chew on that. So I think it's like technique of handling a chuck steak is a
Of what
chuck
it is.
roast. I think is the way to do it. But I don't know. I tell you, I just don't. At the end of the day, I don't know. I don't do a lot of, as you know, I don't do a lot of cooking here.
I think there was some gristle in it, but it's like maybe 20%, right? Most of it was meat, but there was some gristle in it, but it wasn't like all gristle. But yeah, I guess.
What kind of? Most people are saying that you can use a chuck, but just trim away the. Next time, some people are saying next time buy sirloin, boneless ribeye sliced thin.
I don't think the sirloin would give it the same flavor. I think it'd be too dry. Sirloin is very dry.
You can use filet mignon for a beef stew if you got the cash.
But
Man, I want to see filet grilled, man. I don't want to see it in a stew or anything, you know.
yeah, I don't want to see that now.
Check the fire from the
Yeah.
We got a beautiful fire tonight. So it was good. It was tasty. Yeah, but I think you learned something about handling the chuck roast tonight. That it's a bird of a different feather.
Yeah, I mean it's
It needs some care.
it needs some, I guess it needs some precise trimming, and you
You're
gotta.
doing something at home that the butcher's not willing to do for that.
Yeah, I mean
price.
it's.
And I think that's the only critique I have tonight. Other than that,
Yeah.
finger bang the boy here.
Let's see here. Yeah, the beef. Yeah, it's interesting how they do all this kind of stuff. I'm gonna go rinse this out. Take this back there. This is rosy stuff. And you know, when I asked the butcher, I'm like, is this good for Stroganoff? He said, yeah. But he didn't say, hey man, let me trim it for you, or you paid that much for the meat. I would have made the guy
Well, a
trim
lot of
it.
these people assume that
I'm
you
like,
know,
trim it for me, man. Get the, you know.
a lot of people assume that you know what you're going to do when you get it.
If he can trim it for you, and then even if you're paying that much, let him cut it up too. Say you want it.
Yeah.
I mean,
But then he might direct you to the beef stew.
meat,
you know.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, it is what it is.
All right, I'll be back in a minute, guys. I'm going to do a little cleanup here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they'll. Thank you, Cajun Kev.
Marshall blah 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 blah. Did your head gasket blow yet? Blah 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 blah.
You guys are with this fire. The fire at the Rancho. There's a lot of light coming from there. I gotta come from this side. Blinded by the light. There it is. Rancho fire. Break. minute thing about the gristle, you know, you get a piece of gristle, you take a knife and you cut it out. You don't eat it. I mean, it's like a 2-second job. You know, to me that's very minute. Does it focus now? Does it focus now, Shariana? Does it focus now, the cam? I think it's just focused, right? This is a good shot of the fire. Yeah, I mean, you know, to me, there's gristle in there, but a few pieces, like I said, you get gristle, you don't eat it. You can feel it with your spoon if it's gristle, and you can just throw it away. You know, it's not like, you know, you're not eating, you know, filet mignon. That's my opinion. I mean, it's, you know, I want to get maximum flavor in there. And let's see. I can make this dish with sirloin. You make it with no fat. Just cut up the sirloin and cook it in, and char it and take it out and cook it in there and just not have to worry about the fat and gristle. I mean, it'd still be okay, but it wouldn't be the same flavor profile. It would be less fat. But this is the first time I've dealt with chuck roast and even making stroganoff, so you learn something new every time you cook it, you know? Like I said, I think it came out great. You get a piece of gristle, throw it away, cut it out with a knife, you know? We eat gristle all the time. You order steak, you order prime rib. There's gristle and fat all the time. You cut around it. I was disappointed. I thought, well, maybe all the meat might not be tender because of the gristle. But then I started putting my mouth on the pieces of straight beef without the fat, and it was pretty tender. It was okay. It wasn't bad, you know. So I mean, I didn't want to sacrifice flavor. I wanted to get the maximum amount of fat in there because there wasn't much fat. There was a little bit of fat, and I'm like, I want to get this flavor in there, you know. And that's why I just chopped it up.
It's a nice fire tonight.
Yeah. You know what's nice? The wind ain't blowing around.
Yeah, we don't got the wind tonight that's blowing it into our faces and stuff.
Yeah, I think this is the same piece of meat they use for pot roast, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people will put a chuck roast in as pot roast.
That's pot
yes.
roast, yeah. And you
And
can
then
have it.
They'll trim it when they take it out. They'll cut it up.
They'll
and
trim it up?
Slice it, yeah, and then put it on a plate and serve it. And then they'll bowl up the vegetables and everything. I want to make something Monday night, but I don't know what to make.
Are you going to make Asian again? Because that's your.
Marshall, I only made it one time. Why do you say that all the time?
No, didn't you make it? No, you made shrimp. No, you made
That was just a stir fry. What would you like to see me make?
No, I'm just saying you made so far.
What would you like to see me make?
But so far you've made 2 Asian dishes. You made the shrimp stir fry, then you made the Mongolian beef, right? You haven't made anything else, right? Besides, you made the pot roast, which that was American. I'd like to see you make something that's non-Asian.
Well, tell me what you want.
Anything that's non-Asian, because I don't really like Asian food that much. Anything that's American, something that you haven't. Let me think about it. Let me think about a dish.
How about a meatloaf?
Yeah, that's cool. You could do a meatloaf. You could do a.
Because it's going to be raining on that.
Yeah, I've had a craving for meatloaf. Yeah, meatloaf with a ketchup glaze. That'd be cool. You could do meatloaf. You
Yeah,
could do
I think I'll do a meatloaf Monday night.
a meatloaf. Yeah,
That would be
and
good.
and some nice fresh green beans, not the canned ones. Some nice green beans with it. You know, some nice.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You know.
Nice fire tonight, huh? I was about ready to give up on that wood. Yeah, I do believe chuck roast they use in pot roast and stuff like that.
Pot roast. Yeah. So you're gonna make meatloaf. You
Yeah,
got a
I
good
never-
meatloaf recipe?
I never simmer my beef stew for long. I just
Oh, you don't.
I let the temperature come down slowly. I just keep it covered.
Keep
and
it covered,
Sits
okay.
there all day, and it kind of cooks the potatoes and doesn't turn them to mush.
Because you want your vegetables not to be
Exactly. I
overcooked.
don't want something that looks like mush when it's plated up.
Well, you could cook the meat for longer, get it tender, and then put the vegetables in later, right?
Yeah, you could do that too.
I haven't seen you cook. I've seen you cook lasagna all the time for the boss.
Yep.
You usually make that every year, but I haven't seen Rosie cook that much.
Well, I'm cooking more now than I have in the last.
All the years I've seen you on this channel, you cook beef stew and you cook the lasagna.
And meatballs. I made meatballs that Joey D, an Italian, thought was top flight.
You made something. Well, you made pizza one time.
Yep.
I remember you made pizza one time. But I think it'd be good if Rosie
So
made
you
some.
like that meatloaf with the ketchup glaze on it?
Yeah, that'd be good. I tried the South African meat pie that had the ground beef and mashed potatoes, and man, was that good. But I don't know what kind of dough you use for that. You're the baker.
Where are the paper towels? I gotta clean
Yeah,
this up.
paper.
Woo! What a night in Kitchen Stadium tonight.
You want to make a pretty easy dish. I want to see you make something on the level of a stroganoff. I want to see a higher level, like, because these take more. Is it? But you already made that. Right? I want to see you make something you've never made before.
Well, I've never made a meatloaf before.
You ever have? That's real easy. Guess we should have put it in the pan. I want to see you make something with steps.
Marshall,
You're kind of intimidated, aren't you?
no, what would you want me to cook?
Something on the level of a chicken
Tell me
piccata or
what you
something.
want.
On,
I
it'd
don't
have
think
to
the
be.
beef stroganoff with that perfect to me,
No, it's.
honestly.
You want an easy dish.
I don't need it to be that easy.
Make a chicken cordon bleu, chicken Kiev. In the oven, chicken wrap. That's a bake. That's your. That's a baker's recipe, right? I think you want to make meatloaf because mouse toes like that, right?
No, we were talking about how you like ketchup
Malaise,
meatloaf. So that sounds pretty good.
recipes. That's what it's all about. It's an easy recipe.
Chicken cordon bleu.
And chicken Kiev, the butter chicken. I will be back.
There goes the alarm. Jeez, there goes the alarm at the firehouse. The word of December is ball sack. There goes the alarm over at the, somebody pulled the fire alarm at the apartment house. Jeez, what a hood. Every night somebody goes down and steps and just pulls the alarm. The fire department will be here. We put soap on the table. Hot dogs and beans, there we go. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Sounded the alarm. What another fun night in Kitchen Stadium. Anyway, we got a lot of laughs tonight. Got a pretty decent meal out of it. If you can put up with him, you survive any marriage for 50 years. If you could go back and put tribe. It's not really cold. I would judge it maybe 52 degrees, maybe 52, maybe 50. Yeah, never a dull moment around here, Mark. Somebody pulled the fire alarm. I guess I should mosey over and make sure there's not really a fire over there, right? Oh, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing for Christmas. I think, I guess Monday night I've been challenged to make a chicken cordon bleu. Chicken cordon bleu. 50 degrees right here now. I think the fire department have to respond to a fire alarm, yeah. I don't know, the place could be a raging inferno over there right now. How you doing, Kiwana? Oh, there, the alarm's off. Kiev is better, chicken Kiev. Yeah, well, that bank gets knocked over once a month. They go in there and rob that. KFC improved a lot, didn't they? Good stuff. I'm doing good, Kiwana. Thank you, sweetie. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Yeah. Yeah, KFC, just go through the drive-through window. Nobody's moving a muscle around here. They would just burn up. Nobody listens to any card. Let me take a peek over here. Nope. Nobody moved a muscle on the streets out there. The most wonderful time of the year. Do do do, da 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 do da do 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 do. There goes that alarm again. Popeyes ran out of chicken sandwiches again here. Would you like to hear a joke? Sure. To rename Kitchen Stadium. Yes, there we go. Run, run. Said, hello, Sarah. How are you? I have to say the quality of the stream tonight has been great. I just did it on the cell phone, and I just follow along on the laptop. Taste of his bunghole. Oh, brother. It's the most wonderful time of the year. What a nice fire. Get some new lights for the outside. All right. Oh, to get more people to buy those sandwiches. Our Popeyes here is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yeah, I was lucky, Brary, that Ruth Chris, what's his name? Escapes me right now. Oh, I'll think of it. I don't think I'm going to have any, I don't think I'm going to have any ball sack. No. No ball sack. A medallion. Well, I think probably nature called. I like Popeyes, but I'm tired of the spit they do. Ball sack and all. I've never heard of Kiwi Farms, Amy. That table saw me through the first 2011 and 2012 on the Rancho. That was my whole table. Yeah, that's the traffic in front of our house. Yeah, my nose is a little cold out here in Kitchen Stadium. History has been made. Thank you. My honest review is trim up the meat good, get rid of the gristle, and you got a really decent plate of food there. Otherwise, a very good. The sauce was good. Of course, the noodles were cooked to perfection. That's the only thing I would trim that meat a bit when I got it. Because I think the assumption on chuck roast is that you're supposed to take care of it at home a bit too. The ball sack sub. Banging Popeyes. Ours is terrible, Sandy. It's out here. It's each franchise is independently owned and operated, and these people got very high cost and not real good. Deer back strap on Christmas Day. Yeah, I use a nice, one of my subscribers sent me this Starbucks collection cup. This has the Arabian Mocha Sinani. Gave me a whole set of them. Half a thing of splooge. What's up, Juice? What's up? Love you, Judith. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Fahrenheit 454. That was a nice Yule log on there. A nice Yule log. I hate to see things ruined. Man, that table's been through the, yeah, I missed a spot. What's up, JT? That was my table the first two, 2011 and 2012. That was it. You can see it in the video, what the Rancho, my 5-year journey on restoring it. Hey, Missy, how are you? Nice to see you.
You want a beer, Rosie?
I'm okay. I'm
Are
just
you done with these?
Yeah, I'm just settling dinner down a
Okay.
little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a beer.
Okay.
Feels good today. Ain't too cold.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. It's 50 degrees.
Not too windy.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, that's right, Cheryl. I had the microwave on it, and I called it the kitchen, such as it was, and I had a hot plate too. And the only thing I could cook was ramen noodles. That was it. And ever since, that's the basic diet here. Wipe the barnacles off that table. Yeah, that's right, Cheryl. And the coffee pot too. The coffee pot too. That was it. That was it. It's 41 and raining. JT, I think it's always raining up your way, and I think I go nuts. I can't even stand it here when it rains. So I know you get pounded with rain and snow and all that. Especially if you're up near Snoqualmie. Good effort tonight.
Yeah, I want to show people my rig from my camera. Ooh, man, what a nice night.
Yeah, it's
I like
beautiful.
this night. It's beautiful.
It's really nice.
Really nice night.
We have to remember to undo those two, just loosen those bulbs tonight.
I got you.
Yep. Nice night tonight.
Let's see who's on mine here.
My finger's doing a lot better. It's doing good. Doing a lot better. S'mores on the fire and tell us some ghost stories. It's doing better. It never got a chance to re-swell up again. I've been working it all day. So there's whiskey OG. Whiskey, I was telling Marshall you got your LEDs in the
Well, which kind of LEDs did he get?
I'm not sure. You got to watch the video.
Okay. You see, I was going to watch the video. You said there was a woman with him, right?
Yeah, JT said, I want to ask Elvis if he could recommend a place to get some good shawarma in Seattle.
I've never been to Seattle.
He's never been up. But didn't you drive a truck through there or something?
Well, one thing about JT, one thing about him is one time he had shawarma somewhere, and they put tzatziki sauce on it,
Wow.
which is tzatziki sauce is for gyros.
Yeah.
Shawarma sauces for the beef, it's a
You have the
tahini-based sauce.
Yeah, it's garlic
And for
tahini.
the chicken, it's a garlic-based sauce.
Yeah, garlic
But in
based,
some of
yeah.
these places, they do a fusion sauce with mayonnaise or yogurt, and it's terrible. It's not. And I don't think he understands what.
Yeah, I spike it up, Sandy, with shrimp and all that. JT's like, LOL.
But
Basically, JT, you got ripped off.
I don't think.
I
that-
did tell my Christmas story on Wednesday morning. Yes, I did. Look at the morning chooch there.
Yeah, who's on mine? And I want to show everybody the shine. On my
Man, did we burn up some wood tonight?
Who else is there?
We really went through some wood tonight.
Yeah. Much better here tonight because the wind is calm.
Yeah, the wind was blowing it all over the place last time. I'm gonna pop that ladder away. Just in case it's raining, because I already unscrewed the light. I don't know what's coming on. Sensors.
One of those is not
They're
going
gonna
on.
be
That
re-
one's not going on.
It's gotta be reset.
Oh, that's what it is. Let me show you guys the shine here, and I'll bring you guys back to the fire. Oh, you can't see it from here because the light's coming from that, the other one. I'll have to go back. Let's see. Over here. Okay, there's a little bit of shine there. On the doors. the fire. I just want to show you guys 3 coats of wax on the top, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I'm gonna do the top one. I gotta finish the body. That's 3 coats of wax and compound. When you do that, you can see the lights off the Rancho. This is a 30-year-old van with a 30-year-old pin job. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? You can see the Rancho right there. See down below where the stripe is at? Let's see. Lights playing pretty good off here. Here, you can see the light there. See? Now I'm going to show you guys here the bottom below it.
Oh,
Look at that.
brother.
See the reflection there.
To be of good cheer, it's the most wonderful time. Yeah, you're welcome, Amy. Yeah. Only meat I eat is chicken, fish, beef, and pork. No ball sack subs, JT. No esophagus meat. Oh, tonight was the old ball sack sub meat. Huh?
Subway.
Subway ball sack sub, yeah. It's got to have that rubbery accordion feel to it, you know, like you can stretch the meat.
Yeah.
Now you know it's ball sack when you can stretch the meat. You know,
Yeah.
they're cutting up in there. Oh man.
This is the best collection there.
What's the best Christmas present I ever received? It's a really good question. I've always told people when I was little to get the Gilbert Erector set. That was pretty cool. It was all the metal pieces, and you could build. It had an engine with it, and you can construct all kinds of stuff, cranes and things, and I love that. No, we don't have firehouse subs. They have to have cow esophagus for dog treats. Yeah. Oh man, what do we got? We got Patriots and Bills tonight. Is that the game tonight? Yeah, the erector sets. Remember that? The Gilbert erector sets. Man, they were great. But I guess the lawyers got a hold of it. Too many metal parts. Oh, the Patriots won. Okay.
49. JJ says 49ers just won.
Okay. Biscuit. Best
yeah.
Christmas present this year, a divorce from that scoundrel bum hubby. Oh no.
You see the Rancho garage.
Yeah, haven't you ever gone to a sub place and meat is all stretchy? It's like a ball sack that they sliced up or something. Oh Lord. Pretty funny. Tomorrow is another day.
Another day.
Be doing the final electrical hookup before the big cutover to the new distribution panel. That's going to be an all-day affair. Yeah, we got to examine those LEDs tomorrow. Yeah, there you go, Julie. You're a bad influence. I sing your songs all day. Always what's, and because of you, go Baltimore Clippers. There you go. Lab paste meat. Stick with family-owned Italian delis. Yeah, there we go. Maya Bella said, I'm a woman and I love the erector sets. I have a huge Ferris wheel and Viking ship. That is pretty darn. Yeah, I should be over by the fire. Let me get over there a little bit.